Hello. How's everyone doing tonight? If you don't know by now, my name is Snake Man. I am the captain of the Dream Harrier, the ship that flies through gaming space. We have been, ever since the start of this year, I think, we've been looking at this game every weekend. At least once. I would love to do 2 runs on a weekend, but it's a lot for me. Hello Plombo, hello Reformed Sora, hello everyone out there. This is 428 Shibuya Scramble from Spike-Chunsoft, a 2008 Wii visual novel. You need to get to the nearest Pokemon Center? I haven't been to a Pokemon Center since last year's Pokemon Black we played. So it might be a while till the next Pokemon Center. Sorry, you're on your own. Alright, so if you're just joining us, this game is a wonderful visual novel that uses photographs, real-life photographs, instead of like art, like is traditionally seen in light novels like this. Visual novels. The controller's working, that's always good to see. The last time we had an amazing bad end. I don't think there are space supers. I don't think they've gotten into that business yet. Yeah, last time we had an amazing bad end where it turned out the costume that oh my god, what's his name? Kano's partner. Starts with an S. I can't remember. I'm so bad with Japanese names. They just like escape my brain. Sasayama. Sasayama is wearing the Tama cat suit. It turns out the cat suit is some kind of cybernetic something transmission system, and it teleported them into some other dimension or something. And that's all because earlier in that hour, I left the costume to be sold. And I have to go fix that, I think. Yeah, so it's right here that we have to fix that. Everyone's kind of... Let's see. Osawa's in the keep out. To be continued. Maria's on the to be continued along with Achi. Their paths have been intertwined this hour. Kano is trapped in a bad end. Minarikawa we haven't seen this entire hour. Let's go fix our mistake. Let's go finish Kano's stuff. And then, we can go look at Minorikawa. Her disgusted face. Alright, what should I do? So last time we let him have it, but now it's time to feel a little guilty. I feel a little guilty about having him go out of his way for me more than he has already already. Maybe I should deal with it myself. He looks a bit disappointed when I tell him that. I buy the necklace for 30,000 yen and leave the knickknack shop hauling the costume with me. What is she gonna do with it? But as I walk along, I start regretting my decision. I can't find a good place to throw the cat outfit away. Finally, I spot a convenience store that looks like it'll do just fine. One of the employees is out front cleaning out the trash can. Several large garbage bags line the side of the road. Perfect. Maybe I can have him toss out the costume along with everything else. It is really good. Excuse me, so I've got this old cat suit here? I figure it can't hurt to ask. Yeah, I know. The shop boy takes the costume from me. Shop boy. Taku Okado, 22-year-old getting by on part-time employment. Recently, after a number of employees quit in rapid succession, the owner hurriedly took on several new hires, but for some reason, instead of everyone chipping in on the cleaning, Okado always winds up stuck doing it. You're here to throw this thing out. I got it, I got it. He sounds wholly unsurprised. He accepts it so blithely that I actually feel bad. It's been like this all morning, he says. I don't even care anymore. I wonder if this is the person Achi handed garbage to? It's hard to say because he was just moving so fast. That scene was moving fast. Just throw away what you need and be on your way, I guess. It's been like what all morning? I'm out here cleaning and people keep dumping trash on me. He did hand garbage to the 100 yen shop owner, but I thought he also handed something while he was on the run. First it was this couple that up and threw a garbage bag at me. Yeah, Achiendo and Hitomi Osawa. The two have just run into a girl called Kanan. I'm surprised that's not a jump point. Not that it's needed. After that, some homeless looking guy came by and took all his clothes off and left. That has to be Sasayama. Detective Yuji Sasayama from the Shibuya precinct. At the moment, Sasayama is searching for a costume for his next disguise. Like just now, some chubby girl tossed out some empty cardboard boxes and a bunch of empty bottles. I'm glad that Chidi drank all of the burning hammer. That must have been Chidi. She was probably drinking the burning hammer while she walked along. Just chugging that shit right down. So when you came by just now with this thing, I knew right away. Yep, this again. I'm sorry. It's alright. 3 times, 4 times, what's the difference? He flashes a bright smile, but it's clearly insincere. Then he looks at me more closely. Huh. Aren't you that girlfriend of the dude who threw the bag of garbage at me? What? No, not me. Huh, guess I'm misremembering then. It's weird because when I see Maria and I see Hitomi, I know they're identical twins, but they don't strike me as that identical. I don't know what it is. I give this guy a bow. A few minutes later, near the station. Okay, so we're back on path. I know they have different hairstyles. I've commented on that quite a lot. But even just the face, I know like Hitomi is more like solemn and reserved, whereas Maria, she like I don't know if it's the same actress or they actually got twins. Probably the same actress, but she does a lot with her. Oh, they are different actors. Okay. Yeah, they do a lot. Like she plays up the Maria different face expressions and stuff, whereas you know Hitomi's this, right? Alright, so with that out of the way, Kano should be okay. We do have to travel through time. We have to change paths. So like we altered a path in Maria's story just now, which has altered a path over here. Before we were stuck in a bad ending because Kano's partner, Sasayama, grabbed the cat suit. "10 minutes later, a man clad in black appeared on one of the monitors. Yeah, I mean, you traditionally would use the same actor. But yeah, she's doing a good job of like, at least face-wise, like expression-wise, of being 2 different people. The operator lined up his cursor. The comparison check confirmed that it was Al Carwan. Yes, Kano hissed, pumping his fist. Wow, an early hydrate. I gotta get... My bottle, like, makes a weird creaking noise. It appeared that their quarry was simply walking around town, calm and composed. Kano radioed in Al Karawan's location to Kuze. "All units, intercept the suspect on the double," Kuze ordered. "Kano will provide guidance using the surveillance monitors." They saw Al Karawan stop in front of a cigarette vending machine. Was he waiting for someone? Sasayama reporting. I've got eyes on the mutt. Kano's partner had evidently been nearby. I'm making the arrest, he said. There was a note of courage in Sasayama's voice. He came into view on the monitor, walking casually. At some point, he ditched his anime nerd costume for street dancer's get-up. Looking fly, Sasayama. Looking good. It didn't appear that Al Karawan had noticed him yet. Bit by bit, Sasayama closed the distance. Not much further now. Kano's hand balled into a fist as he watched. And then something unexpected happened. Another man came running into view right in the middle of the monitor. It's Toyama! Teruo Toyama. While searching for Hana at Shibuya Gigo, he was located by a duo of debt collectors and fled the scene. Hana left Gigo to find him, and ran into him here, in Maruya Macho. I'm glad they found each other. The pair are heading towards Koen-dori, trying to find a place to hide. I was worried. There was no sound, but they could see that the newcomer was shouting something. As Al Karawan turned to look at the man, Sasayama launched himself like a bullet from a gun. In an instant, Detective and Perp were locked in a violent scuffle right there on the street. Toyama actually being useful? Kano swallowed a lump in his throat as he watched the struggle unfold. Earlier in the day, Al Karawan had done a number on Sasayama, but this time the detective had the upper hand. He got a grip on Al Karawan's neck and kneed him repeatedly. Hell yeah. Al Karawan tried desperately to bring Sasayama to the ground, but Sasayama braced himself and avoided the takedown. Then he shifted his stance and took Al Karawan to the pavement with a spectacular hip throw. Ooh, nice. And got a single arm. Yes! Kano clapped his hands together in excitement. That's my boy! That's Sasayama! Catching the perp in a scarf hold, Sasayama got out of his handcuffs. A technique in judo involves wrapping an arm around the opponent's neck while performing an upper body pin. Stanley, we should head to the scene, Kano said. He looked away from the monitor for a mere moment, and when he looked back, Sasayama had released his hold and crumbled to the ground. What? Panicked, Kano stared at the image of his friend. There was something jutting up from Sasayama's abdomen. That's a knife. This is not a good end. We should have taken the cat suit. Zoom in, Kano cried frantically. The camera closed in on Sasayama. Now Kano could see exactly what he'd feared. Sasayama had been stabbed in the gut. Blood pooled on the pavement around him. Kano screamed, "Sasayama!" The camera showed several other detectives arriving at the scene, capturing Al Karawan before he could escape. But Sasayama lay motionless. The pool of blood around him spread further and further across the pavement. Unable to look any longer, Kano rushed from the surveillance room. We lost our boy? Oh no! That's not a bad end, that's the real end! Our boy is down. Let me know if I need the game audio louder. This game is a tricky one to audio balance. I know, I was excited to see what other costumes he'd wear. Okay, so Osawa is still stuck in a keep out. We have yet to look at Minorikawa this hour. So let's do that. Let's point. No! Minorikawa's cry of despair echoed throughout the cafe. His laptop monitor stared back at him, black and empty. Don't you die on me, buddy! He jabbed his finger sharply at the screen. But the computer gave no response, looking well and truly dead. Kinda looks like a Vio, so, you know, not a great choice. What the hell? Minorikawa pounded his fist on the table. This would be a worst-case scenario, even if he weren't desperately pressed for time. Guess I'll just have to write by hand, then. He rummaged around inside his bag and pulled out a notebook. I can still do this, he shouted, doing his best to psych himself up for the task ahead. I will still do this. Excuse me, sir? The waitress appeared timidly beside him. What? Minorikawa snapped, his pen still flying across the paper. Sir, if you could please quiet down? My damn computer just broke. I'm allowed to scream or two. Minorikawa was in no state of mind to be quiet. If it weren't for the deadline he was racing to meet, he'd probably have gone on screaming until he passed out. Your computer is broken, you say? When are you gonna go fight yokai? So far, there's not been yokai. There was a necklace that kind of called out to someone. That could have been maybe supernatural, or maybe it was just that she had seen it. The person it called out to has amnesia, so maybe it's stirring up memories. And then there was a cat suit that was cybernetic and opened up a wormhole or something. That's so far the only supernatural things. The waitress peered at the monitor. Yeah, look, it just suddenly stopped displaying anything. Minorikawa is at max Minorikawa level at all times. He really is. What's Ghostwire? Could it be that, the battery is just dead? Minorikawa sat bolt upright. That's it! Also, I'm sorry I didn't say hi, Kajardin, when you were mentioning a scarf. I guess I got distracted. The waitress flinched as Minorikawa's finger jabbed towards her face. I hadn't considered that possibility. Hey, let me plug it in somewhere. There's an outlet right there, sir. She pointed at an outlet by Minorikawa's feet, making no attempt to hide her exasperation. Minorikawa plugged in the power cable, and the monitor sprang to life as normal. So, now that that's sorted, would you please be quiet, sir? Don't talk to me, you're interfering with my writing. Ah, I see. Minorikawa's fingers had already begun dancing around his keyboard. With a sigh, the waitress disappeared back into the kitchen. Oh yeah, now we're talking. His fingers picked up speed as he went about touch typing. The act of typing at a keyboard without looking at the keys. The aspiration of computer novices everywhere. The typical method involves placing the index fingers on the F and J keys, with the middle ring and pinky fingers resting on the A, S, and D, or K, L, and semicolon keys to either side, from which all other keys are easily reached. With practice, a touch typist can instinctively hit the correct key every time without looking. Oh, okay, it was Tango Gameworks. The pros and cons of surveillance cameras. Proprietor of outdated electronics shop oversees high-tech camera system. Bedlam at bogus weight loss drink sales demo. Bankrupted organizer remains undiscouraged. Now Minorikawa's spirits were riding high. His riding rolled along at a brisk pace. Sir? It was the waitress again, her voice yanking Minorikawa right out of his soaring mood. Sir? Now what? Has the President of the United States agreed to give me a one-on-one interview? The waitress's eyes went wide with confusion. Huh? Because unless it's something that important, do not speak to me right now. But she was undeterred. Sir, please, if you could just be a little quieter. I mean, he's just typing. What's the word? Like, it's a keyboard on a laptop. How loud can it be? Minorikawa's fingers ceased their rattling across the keys. Just what sound do you have a problem with? All I've been doing is writing a copy. Yeah, they get a lot of good people to mug for the camera. Well, for the last while, actually, you've been talking while you write, sir. Talking? Minorikawa tilted his head in confusion. Yes, sir. You've been talking about an electronics store and some bogus weight loss drink? I assume that's what you're writing about. I like that he looks like he's just using WordPad or Notepad or something. I'd say Notepad, but it looks like it has at least margins. You're saying I've been narrating my copy aloud while writing it? That's right, sir. Other customers sitting nearby were openly snickering. Well, so what? He snapped. He was red in the face now. You should all be delighted that you get to hear what I'm writing before the magazine goes to print. Wait, is he at the... Is it a different cafe? That's, Kano's girlfriend and Kano's, future father-in-law on the right. Did he come back to this cafe? Is it the same I forget. He got kicked out of a cafe. Then he went to a cafe that let him write. And that's the one that this guy was in. So I guess he went back to the same cafe. Well, actually, sir, one of our customers has been complaining. Oh. We know which one. Complaining? Of all the nerve, who was it? Where are they? Minorikawa scanned the other patrons, many of whom were unsuccessfully trying to hide their laughter. It was me. It was the grumpy older fellow who'd been making a scene earlier. Bogus diet fads, peeping security cameras. Reminds me of that sleazy tabloid 4-star general gossip I hate so much. Oh, you sure seem to know a lot about it for something that you hate so much. The man's face twisted up with scorn. Your behavior is bothering everyone in here, he said. Do you not understand that? No, I don't. Huh. Guess a reporter who writes nothing but nonsense prefers nonsense in everything he does. Minorikawa could feel his blood boiling. What was that? Go on, say that again. Oh, gladly. Nonsense, filth, codswallop, flim-flam. These are good words. You bastard! How dare you? He really took the flim-flam personally. Minorikawa stormed over to the man's table. Flim-flam indeed. Bogus or insincere content. Few things anger Minorikawa more than reporters using dishonest means to create a story. Having his own work called flim-flam would naturally make him blow his top. Yokai Watch Chat? I only know flim-flam from Scooby-Doo and the... He's the boy in the 13 Ghosts. That's it. 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Just who are you calling flim-flam? The other man stood up and glowered in Minorikawa's face. You utterly lack any manners or sense of decency, for starters. I have plenty of manners and decency. I also happen to have a deadline. Bah, as if a flim-flam artist like you has a work ethic. Stop calling me flim-flam. The waitress inserted herself between the two men. What a brave waitress. Gentlemen, please, stop fighting. I demand that you remove this man at once. The older fellow barked. He's the one you should be kicking out, Minorikawa shot back. By now he was ready to go for this guy's throat. Please, the waitress pleaded. Both of you return to your seats. She grabbed onto Minorikawa and began to forcibly drag him back to the table. Oh, it's too late for that. Giving into his anger, Minorikawa threw a punch at the troublemaker. Okay, just calm down. Minorikawa did his best to swallow his pride. I want to see him deck this guy. But I have a feeling that this guy is a former police officer, detective, now farmer. Like, he's probably gonna beat the shit out of Minorikawa. But I feel like both of these options are pretty good. Like, both of these outcomes. So I think we can pick this and be just okay. Oh, it's too late for that. I mean, Minorikawa earlier got beat up by Miku, but Miku was a fighting champion. Giving into his anger, Minorikawa threw a punch at the troublemaker. Gah! The man dodged him nimbly, however. Heh, you're not bad. I'm 6th Dan in judo. Ah, you should have mentioned that earlier. Minorikawa hastily retreated to his seat. The other man snorted and sat down with a scowl. He just takes that. He's just... You get punched at and he's just like, whatever. Yeah, I had a feeling that the old man would have came out on top. The needless interruption, just when he'd finally gotten into writing mode, had all but killed Minorikawa's motivation. He decided he needed to take a breather. He turned to the waitress. One spaghetti Napolitan, please. Spaghetti flavored with tomato ketchup. There it is. There's that ketchup spaghetti. Napolitan is a corruption of Neapolitan, though the dish itself has no connection to the Italian city of Napoli. Rather, it originated as a menu item at a hotel in Yokohama shortly after World War II. There's also a spaghetti dish from Nagoya called Milanese, which likewise has no connection to the Italian city of Milan. Like I said last time when they brought it up, I ain't with that. The ketchup. That ain't me. He might not have a lot of spare time, but working on an empty stomach wouldn't do him any favors. I just had spaghetti. I had spaghetti and meatballs. While waiting for his order to come out, he decided to read back over the copy he'd written so far. What? When he looked back at the monitor, the screen was black yet again. This poor man, this is 2008. This is before Cloud. And I bet he hasn't been auto-saving. Looking down at his feet, he saw that the power cable was now unplugged. Hey, what kind of cafe are you people running here? He shouted. The waitress hurried over, looking combative. Sir, you yanked that out yourself when you stood up earlier. What? A likely story. It's the truth, sir. Minorikawa pointed at one of the customers sitting next to him. Look at the poor waitress. Is she telling the truth? What? No, he's like the best character in the game. Did I really yank my power cord out myself? The man nodded sheepishly. You want to slap the hell out of him? You take that back? Achi's the best character? I don't know. Achi's okay. Achi's a good boy. He's a little dumb. Minorikawa isn't dumb, but he just doesn't give a shit about other people. Like... Yeah, well, that's the outlet's fault for being someplace where it unplugs so easily, Minorikawa squawked. The waitress marched away, head held high. Just make sure that spaghetti's delicious. Or, just make sure that spaghetti's delicious, Minorikawa shouted after her. Do that and I'll consider us even. Oh, and load it with cheese. Lots of cheese. Cheese and ketchup. He plugged the power cable back in, then let out a heavy sigh. In all his writing forever, he hadn't thought to save his work. Always make sure to save your work to avoid losing data. Honestly, why is it that your computer only seems to freeze when you've forgotten to save your stuff? I know, right? It's so rude. He was probably going to have to rewrite most of what he'd done. Damn, that's rough. Excuse me. Minorikawa looked up to see a young woman standing there. I'm so sorry, she said. About my father. She gave a tiny bow. Your father? Oh, the rude old man. He's just a little worked up right now. Please don't pay him any mind. So what, you waiting on your boyfriend? Huh? The woman was taken aback. I happened to hear you two arguing earlier. Would have been about 2 hours ago. Well, we've seen a lot of all those things, right? Actually, we haven't seen taxing. We haven't seen taxation. Oh, I see. An awkward, embarrassed smile came to the woman's face. I thought he was going to ask my father for permission to marry me, so we've been waiting for him, but he hasn't shown up. No, he must be really busy. She cast her eyes down sadly. Minorikawa took a better look at her. She was gorgeous. A woman with her looks wasn't something he saw every day, that was for sure. Say, Would you mind would you mind talking with me for a bit? He asked. Me? Yeah. I kinda need to turn my mood around here. Well, okay. At least until my father gets back. The woman cast an anxious look towards the restroom. What's her name? Rumi. She sat down across from him. We're never gonna see Rumi's face. Wait a second, aren't you? Minorikawa appeared at Rumi's face. One of those twins that was chosen as Miss Midoriyama? Wait. So that implies that Rumi looks like Maria and Hitomi? Rumi shook her head. No, not me. No? Darn, didn't think I'd be that lucky. He took a sip of his now cold coffee. I do know the girls you're talking about, though, Rumi said. This is a good shot. This, like, CG, like, spit that's happening is very good. Minorikawa spat out his coffee in surprise. Rumi squeaked in alarm as the spray splattered her face. Minorikawa. But Minorikawa leaned in, unconcerned. I love the hiding of her face. You mean it? You really know them? Yes, Rumi replied. You're talking about the Osawa twins, right? She got out a handkerchief and wiped the coffee from her face as she spoke. She's so polite. She's just letting this slide. Osawa, huh? Minorikawa glanced down at the project proposal on the table. Oh, I thought he lost the project proposal. Sexy squared. Twins share top prize at local university beauty contest. Oh, I forgot this was on the project. I was supposed to remember that and be like, oh, they won the contest. Midoriyama Academy, Maria and Hitomi Osawa. Yes, that's it. The Osawa twins. I actually won Miss Midoriyama myself a few years ago. This year I served as one of the judges. Minorikawa adopted a self-satisfied pose. Guess I was really born under the right sign to be a freelancer. The leads just come to me. Sure, Rumi muttered. Okay, let's talk basics then. Tell me, what do you know about these girls? Well, I don't really know them personally. Rumi continued to dab at the coffee on her face. It was scalding her. But now that you ask, I do remember hearing that they'd entered the contest separately. Wait, separately? Now Minorikawa was a bit confused. Yes, that's right. I'd assumed they'd enter as a pair, but apparently not. I mean, how often does a beauty contest let people enter as a pair? I wonder why. I mean, they're twins. Don't they look alike? Wear the same clothes? Do everything together? And say the same things at the same time and stuff? Only Fuamoko do that. Rumi chuckled and shook her head. No, not at all. Besides, these two aren't identical. They're fraternal twins. Twins were born at the same time from two eggs that were fertilized separately. Fraternal twins do not share the same genetic information. They can differ in such characteristics as sex and blood type, though there are cases of fraternal twins resembling one another almost as closely as identical twins. Maria and Hitomi Osawa happen to look very closely alike, but they do not have the same blood type. We did know about the blood type difference. I think. No, actually, we didn't know the blood type difference. I was thinking back to Achi's sister, who has, like, special super blood. Which maybe, Hitomi has the same blood. I always assumed they were identical because the game just refers to them as, like, looking identical. But apparently they're fraternal. They just also look extremely close alike. To the point that the game characters mix them up. Although at a glance, they do look very similar. Still, how should I put this? They both give off a very different impression. Oh, you know what it is? Japan associates blood type with, like, attitudes and personalities and stuff. So, like, them being fraternal and having completely different attitudes is, like, that's why they have different blood types. That's my guess. Oh, now that sounds interesting. Mind explaining what you mean? Minorikawa opened his memo pad. I talked to them briefly after the award ceremony. The older sister struck me as really energetic. but the younger one was more quiet and reserved. So I don't think we knew that Maria was the older, did we? Minorikawa's investigative senses were tingling. I wouldn't figure a shy girl would want to enter a beauty contest. I suppose not, no. Yeah. I don't suppose you got anything juicier, Minorikawa asked. Always had that vibe? Maybe. Rumi frowned. Would you like to just go ask them yourself? She said. They don't live very far from here. Whoa, hold the phone! Minorikawa could hardly believe what had just fallen onto his lap. The advance info in the project proposal had mentioned the girls were students at Midoriyama, but hadn't given an actual address. If he could talk to them directly, now that would be pay dirt. You know where they live? Well, not exactly. I just heard that they lived in Shodo. Ah, Shodo. That wasn't far away. A car or motorcycle could get there in about 10 minutes. It'd be quicker than going to Midoriyama Academy, and he'd be able to meet with the girls themselves. Minorikawa flashed a quick look towards the restroom. It looked like Rumi's father had just gotten back. Sorry, she said. I should be going. No problem, and thank you. Rumi gave him a quick nod, then hurried back to her seat. Minorikawa grabbed the directory from the public phone and flipped through the pages. To his surprise, there were only 5 listings for the name Osawa, with addresses in Shodo. There was neither a Maria nor a Hitomi, but he hadn't expected there to be. He'd need to find their parents. Wasting no time, he called up the first Osawa on the list. Well, that explains the phone call that Mr. Osawa got. Bingo! Minorikawa couldn't help but pump his fist in excitement. He got in the right place on his first try. Way to go, me! He committed the house number listed in the phone book to memory. Just then, the waitress reappeared with a disgruntled expression, and Minorikawa's order was spaghetti Napolitan. Here you are, sir. I spit in it. Oh, it has like little hot dogs, too. Look at the pile of cheese. So this has ketchup, peppers, those like little hot dogs that Japan likes to put in everything. I hate this. Knowing that this is cheese. Pasta was piled high with an impressive amount of grated cheese. It almost looked like a miniature mountain of snow. You did say lots of cheese, sir, the waitress told him. She set down a canister of cheese and a bottle of Tabasco. A sauce made by the US-based McKilney Company, consisting of hot peppers, grain vinegar, and rock salt. Known for its distinctive spiciness, it can make spaghetti and pizza quite tasty with the addition of just a few drops. Tabasco also goes pretty well with ramen and curry, recommended for times when flavor is lacking a little punch. However, even one drop might be too much for those who can't handle spicy things. It has been claimed that Tabasco was first imported to Japan by a certain well-known former pro wrestler, but this story is untrue. Does anyone know? Anyone know what this pro wrestler story is about? Oh, did they think it was Stan? What's his name? Stan Hansen? I could see them associating Stan Hansen. Stan Hansen was a Texas-born, very cowboy, big, thick American wrestler that wrestled in Japan in the 80s. Pretty well known. I could see him being the Tabasco bringer. Oh, this looks good, Minorikawa exclaimed. He twirled some spaghetti up with his fork and shoved it into his mouth. The slightly sour sweetness of the ketchup blended perfectly with the mellow flavor of the cheese. I hate this. Oh, I don't know why ketchup is getting me like this. I think ketchup is too sweet. I don't like sweet spaghetti. And ketchup is just too sweet. Oh, that is tasty. There's nothing like satisfying grub to lift the spirits. He turned back to his laptop, still wolfing down the spaghetti. Alright, we're back in action. Let's do this. Yet again, he unthinkingly blurted his words aloud as he slipped back into writing mode. I've got this. I've got this. He's like Piccolo on Namek. I can win. I can do this. I feel great. Was that Namek? Or no, that's before Cell. Sorry. That's when he eats Kami. With ketchup smeared around his mouth, he set his fingers tapping away at the keys. The waitress let another groan of dismay. Huh? You say something? This is a great picture. I like this picture a lot. I'm gonna take a picture for Steam. Minarikawa glanced in their direction, but the waitress faked a smile. What? No, that line is from the old Funimation dub. It's not in like Kai or anything, but yeah, he basically does the I feel great, I can do this, I can win. He just doesn't get interrupted. Like, that's a classic of old Dragon Ball Z dub. Mondo Cool era dubbing. No, sir, I don't think so. Yeah, well then go away. You're distracting me. The moment he looked away, she clenched her fist in indignation. Fucking get his ass. Hmm? Nothing, sir. Good luck with your work, sir. I don't need luck. I've got this. Eyes jumping back and forth between pasta and computer, Minarikawa got to work on his copy once more. Before long, he was oblivious to every sound in the cafe around him. Yeah, sometimes the best abridged jokes are the ones that actually happened. The ones that are actually about the original dubbing. Like the, when Goku first goes Super Saiyan and he does like the Darkwing Duck thing. I'm the terror that flaps in the night. And like, that's not... Oh yeah, there has been some frame drops. Look at that. Only 3%, but it's 3% more than I'd like to see. I wonder what's going on. I did change a setting in OBS. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's this internet. Maybe I need a new router. I have noticed some weird router things. The routers are expensive. Oh, nope, it went back down. That's really weird. Okay, we're back. When he finally snapped out of writing mode, he glanced at his watch. It was 2:20. Almost time for him to head to his next interview. Better get a move on. Kimizuka's taxi came by just as Minarikawa was hurrying out of the cafe. Is this our boy? Well, what a pleasant surprise, Minarikawa called out. Nice timing, my man. Kimizuka's startled look quickly vanished behind an expression of professional resignation. Do you need a ride, sir? You know it, Minarikawa replied. First, head to Shodo. After that, I'll need to get to Sakura Gauka. As he cast his gaze out at the sights of the city, Minarikawa mulled over his plan for the next part of the day. First, he'd interview the Miss Midoriyama girls. Then he'd meet with the head of that theater troupe. In order to leave himself enough time to write his copy, that meant... I'd like to get this all wrapped up in 20 minutes, he said. Can you make that happen? Kimizuki flashed a grin. That will incur a special fare, sir. Ooh, special. Minarikawa said as he got settled in the seat. I love that word. Kimizuki stepped on the gas. I'm glad there's like a bromance here. Shibuya was a town of contrasts. It was a town of young people, unpretentious, energetic. The Scramble intersection and center guy perfectly conveyed that vibrancy. However, if one turned right at the 109 building and headed down Bunkamura Dori, the town's whole atmosphere changed. Shoto was one of Shibuya's, indeed, one of Tokyo's most upscale residential districts. Wherever one looked, there were stately manor houses giving off an imposing air, sending the message that this was no place for the common folk. Right here is fine. Minorikawa directed Kimazuka to pull over. Wait here for me. I'll be right back. Hopping out of the taxi, he checked the nameplates of nearby homes. Ah, here we go. He'd spotted a nameplate that read Osawa. Kenji Osawa, huh? The name nagged at him somehow. It had been in the back of his mind ever since he'd seen it in the phone book back at the cafe. Had he heard it someplace before? He walked up to the gate and pressed the button for the intercom. Even the little chime it made when pressed sounded elegant. Minorikawa waited, but there was no response. He looked at his watch. It was 2:30 now. His interview with Shinosuke Arai of the Wandering Angels was supposed to have started already. Ah, episode 3. With help from Shinichi Bando, Mondo was able to get out of his apartment. Then, when all the players had finally assembled, the troupe proceeded with one last rehearsal before showtime. But again, tragedy struck. Mondo came down with food poisoning after eating his lunch. He was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, and the Angels were once again lacking an actor for the key role of Shido. Arai was on the verge of panic. Finally, however, he came up with a solution. Novice actor Takuya Amo would take on the part. Continued in episode 4. No, it's elegant and fancy. Ding dong. Still, he wanted to meet with the twins first, if that was possible. He had to make a choice. He decided to wait a little bit longer, or he decided to give up and head to his next interview. Minorikawa does not give up. He decided to wait a bit longer. Just 5 more minutes. Also, we know that Osawa came out eventually. Suddenly, a man's voice came through the intercom. Yes, who is it? He sounded rather guarded. It's Minorikawa. Where might I know you from, Mr. Minorikawa? Oh, their house is nice. I mean, I knew it was nice, but this is like the first time we got a real good look of it. Oh, you know, here and there. I mean, there's only one Minorikawa, really. Are you playing games with me? I don't have time for that. Please, just open up. There's no way I'm letting you in. This discussion was getting them nowhere. Minorikawa decided he'd have to take the direct approach. Look, just hold your horses. I'm here for an interview. You got that? I like how his eyes are closed in this one. An interview? He'd taken the bait. Most folks could hardly resist the word interview. That's right. It's a piece for 4-star general gossip. Wait. This is for one of those kinds of articles? The man sounded angry now. What do you mean, those kinds of articles? I'm just looking for an interview. Like hell you are. I'm not talking to anyone from the gossip. You're not the one I'm here to talk to. I want to interview your twin daughters. My daughters? No parent would deny their children a chance for word of their achievements to spread. I understand they won a shared prize for a beauty contest at Midoriyama Academy. If you don't mind me interviewing them, The intercom cut off before Minorikawa could finish. Hey, what gives? I'm begging out here, on my hands and knees. He wasn't actually on his hands and knees, but whoever was on the other end couldn't see that. There's clearly a camera. Like, I know they implied that the camera was hidden, but it is clearly in the shot. You can clearly see there's a camera. If your daughters aren't home, can you at least tell them I want to get in touch with them? He wasn't even using the intercom now. He was just shouting over the gate. A man stepped out of the front door. Give me your business card, he said. You know what? They always call the old guy, I can't remember his name right now, miserable. Osawa is the character I would describe as miserable. I understand what they're trying to say about Teruro. But Osawa just on his face, it just looks like a miserable person. And we know inside that he is a miserable person. I'll have them get in touch with you later. The man had a somewhat stricken look on his face. This had to be Kenji Osawa then. Wait, hold on. Osawa. Nabi Norikawa recognized him. This was Kenji Osawa, a preeminent virologist who worked for Okoshi Pharmaceutical. 4-star General Gossip had run a scandalous article on him in the past. Norikawa remembered reading it. He held out his business card and Osawa snatched it from him. The virologist started to head back into his house. Please see that they get back to me, Mr. Osawa, Norikawa shouted after him. And then he noticed something odd. It was the middle of the afternoon, but every window in the house had its curtains drawn. That, combined with Osawa's demeanor, set off alarm bells in Minorikawa's head. He knew he was onto something, but he couldn't linger at the Osawa residence any longer than he had already had. He needed to get to that theater ASAP. He hurried back to the taxi and told Kimazuka to go. A few minutes later, the rear tires skidded sharply as the cab came to a stop beside a different curb. The trip from Shoto to the theater in Sakuragaoka had taken almost no time at all. Here we are, sir, Kimazuka announced. Wow, that was fast. Still, Minorikawa was at least 5 minutes behind schedule. He'd hoped he'd still be able to get the interview with Ori. Oh, I think we know. There's a jump somewhere. We've seen a jump. We couldn't do it because we didn't get there with Minorikawa. Though it is interesting that we're kept out of Osawa right after meeting Minorikawa, and we're kept out of Minorikawa right after meeting Osawa. So now the question is, where is that jump? And it's with Maria. I guess right here? Well, I didn't take this jump. Is this Minorikawa jump? No, this is an Achi jump. Huh. Maybe the secret is not to meet Mr. I mean, okay, Osawa has a jump for Minorikawa. I did remember this. But I thought it would lead to the same, moment. Oops. No, it leads to 1435. Strange. Minorikawa got his wallet out of his jacket to pay the driver. Oh no, Kimazuka said, waving a hand. Don't worry about the fare. Huh? Why not? There's still plenty left over from what you paid me earlier, sir. That's what I meant by special fare. That's right, he paid Kimazuka a whole 10,000 yen for taking him to Endo Electronics earlier. But I mean, I'm not the sort of person to keep the change, as it were, Kimazuka said. Minorikawa felt a surge of pride at those words. You're my kind of guy, Mr. Kimazuka. A man on the job can always count on Hachiro Kimazuka's taxi, the driver grinned. Now go on, go. Thank you. I have a feeling we'll meet again. He's a good guy. As Minorikawa entered the theater lobby, he saw a bunch of flower bouquets, patrons' gifts of appreciation. Among the names of the senders were celebrities he recognized. The largest of the bouquets were sent by Koichi Nakamura of the secret society Chunsoft. The next largest came from Maru Taro Ishihara from the government organization Joy Art. Following that were those from actress Baruko Rose, popular scenario writer Ibisu Ipanamatsu, Tohaku Busters Bus Tours Company Limited bus guide Kimiko Amo, professional baseball player Masa Narikiyo, and ventriloquist Shinshin, ukulele player Hawaii Matsuda, online TV critic Genzo Akitsu, and so on. So that first name, Koichi Nakamura, is that the guy behind this in Time Travelers? I kind of forgot who's behind this. Koichi Nakamura is the founder and president of Chunsoft. Okay. I figured that the first one was someone that worked at Chunsoft. Evidently, the Wandering Angels were a pretty popular acting troupe. The original Dragon Quest programmer. Okay. Because I know a lot of people give Yuji Horii, the credit for Dragon Quest, but obviously Yuji Horii's a writer, I think, not a programmer. I mostly know Yuji Horii for writing text-based adventure games on like PC-88 and stuff. Before the whole Dragon Quest thing blew up. I assume he's like planner or something, Anyway, I think it's time for episode 4. Novice actor Takuya Amo, despite his nervousness, gave a credible performance as Shido as the production got underway. But as the show continued, his inexperience became apparent. He went on stage for the big wire action scene, having forgotten to attach himself to the rigging. Tezuka was quick to act, rushing on stage in the improvised role of assassin with Edo accent number 1, and fixing a rope to Amo's back during the confusion. Continued in episode 5. Oh, okay. I just assumed writer because of the Portopia and stuff. There's a good scene of wire work acting in Oshi no Ko. I haven't seen that show. I only seen clips. I want to watch it. They announced season 3. There's also season 2 of Bocchi the Rock, and then there's a new anime about girls in the band coming out as well. It's a lot going on. I might start watching anime in the Discord and not telling people, and just like I'll make a. I won't at people, but I will just say, hey, I'm watching anime if anyone wants to join me. There was a palpable tension in the air. The crew seemed skittish as they went about their work. He's late, someone shouted all of a sudden. It was a man over in one corner of the lobby, railing angrily to nobody in particular. Why the hell hasn't that journalist shown up yet for the interview? Oh, he programmed Portopia himself on the 88. That makes sense. Though it is interesting. There's not really I wonder if there's any kind of precedence, because that's like considered the first Japanese adventure game, right? So like, wonder if there's any precedence. There's stuff on like PC-66, like Mystery House and but I don't know if that stuff's older or not. At one point I want to dig into the Japanese adventure genre. I need to play Portopia. That's the truth. I haven't played Portopia yet. And the only one translated is the Famicom one, so I'm going with that. The sequel to Portopia has a recent port on like smartphones and Steam and stuff and eShop, but they still want like $40 for that. And it's hard to swallow. There was like a weird Portopia port to iPhone that used like AI translation that they were like, that wasn't like they were hiding it. They were like, look at this brand new AI translation thing. And like you could talk to it and it would like answer you back or something. I don't know. No one likes that version as far as I can tell. That's the last thing I heard about Portopia. If you guys don't know what Portopia is, chat, Portopia is like the first Japanese adventure game. That would make sense. Okay. So it's interesting. Japanese adventure games, even though Portopia uses a text parser on PC 98 and then or PC 88, and then switches to like the more traditional Japanese adventure game, or at least console style, like set of actions that you pick. So I guess America had them already, and he was just like, why the hell we don't have them? They definitely have a different flavor and a different kind of thought process. You heard about the cursed Portopia translation before, but I'd forgotten about it. Yeah, it came up during my research when I was like doing things, researching things. Guess that's Shinosuke Arai. I've been busy myself, Minarikawa said, keeping his composure. Trust me, I know how it goes. Huh? Who the hell are you? I'm the guy you've been waiting for. Mr. Arai? The man glared at him. It's Arai, he said. Anyway, I'm Minorikawa. Sorry to keep you waiting. Though really, a short wait is a small price to pay for the chance to be interviewed by me. Well, I hope you appreciate how valuable my time is now that you're taking it, snapped Arai. Wow, someone sure has a high opinion of himself, Minorikawa replied. He marched up to Arai. Damn right I do, I'm Shinosuke Arai. The theater man got right up in Minorikawa's face. Like anyone cares. A jolt of tension sparked between the two men. Around this time, there's a similar jolt of tension between two other people, Kenji Osawa and Mamoru Tanaka. I want to see where this goes first. I beg your pardon, a woman interrupted. But Mr. Arai does have a schedule to keep. And who are you, Miss Tsukuzawa? I'm the producer. Well, listen, Sue, I'm in the middle of an interview here. Please don't interrupt. What? That's how you conduct an interview? That's right. This is how I roll. Look, whatever, Arai growled. Let's just do this already. Fine by me. How has Minorikawa not been stabbed to death? Like, if this is every interview that he does, how has he not been stabbed to death? The two men sat down on opposite sides of a table in the lobby. But Tsukuzawa spoke up again. Mr. Arai, don't forget the meeting you have after this. Yeah, handle that, would you? Minorikawa let out a derisive snort. It's like you're holding court, he said. Do people actually hang around you with that kind of attitude? You have no right to judge my acting troupe. Minorikawa straightened up in his chair, a mocking smile on his lip. Oh, so it's your acting troupe, huh? Why not just play all the roles yourself? Heck, you can even be your own audience. How dare you? Arai rose to his feet and made to leave, but Tsukuzawa herded him back and down into the chair. Minorikawa continued as if he hadn't heard. Just what is it you do anyway? He asked. Arai raised an incredulous eyebrow. You don't know? No, why should I? You came to interview without knowing anything about who you were interviewing? Yep. That's it, get out. Arai roared and pointed angrily towards the exit. Oh, we have counterpointing. How dare an unmannered clod like you come in here and waste my time? Hey, who's being unmannered now? I came all the way out here to hear your story, didn't I? Why don't you get out? Minorikawa pointed at the exit as well. You insensitive clod. Minorikawa pointed at the exit as well. Why the hell should I have to leave? Arai demanded. This is my house. Theater jargon for the theater itself, especially the main auditorium. dueling points. Look, just get out. This time both yelled and pointed towards the exit in unison. Tsukuzawa quickly interposed herself between them, forcing a smile. Gentlemen, please calm down, she said. Then she turned to Minorikawa. You should be aware that Mr. Arai used to be a broadcast writer. Someone who writes for television or radio programs. A great show depends not only on the actor's performances, but on the skills of the broadcast writer. He's responsible for a lot of big hits. You don't need to mention that, Arai grumbled. Nonetheless, Tsukuzawa rattled off the names of several shows. Minorikawa did indeed recognize many of them. He murmured. So how come you're running a failing theater now? God damn it, Minorikawa. You're my favorite character because you're so punchable. Failing? Arai went red in the face. I'm not wrong, am I? You are absolutely the rudest person I've ever met. What would a rank amateur like yourself know about theater? Arai's face was dark with rage. But Minorikawa didn't back down. Listen, this has nothing to do with how well your theater is or isn't doing, he snapped. The television world wouldn't accept you. So in order to retain your pride as an entertainer, you started doing theater. Isn't that so? Don't act like you know anything. I've staked my entire life on this theater. It seemed as if Arai might throw a punch at any moment. Sure, a city theater might seem small time compared to TV. Oh, sorry, I'm doing the wrong voice. Sure, the city theater might seem small time compared to TV, but you get a lot more response from it. Response? Oh, now that sounds interesting. Darn right, Arai exclaimed. You can see it from up on stage. The audience, you can see their faces. There was a passion in Arai's voice now. Maybe this is why Minorikawa has never been stabbed. He gets down into your soul. He brings out the good in you, the true. This is the theme of Minorikawa digging into your soul. You can really feel it. When the audience is enjoying themselves, you can feel that energy. You can't get that from doing television. Thinking back on it now, my time spent working on TV? Let's see, what's a good analogy? It's like being handed a towel that's already damp. No, that's not right. Okay, so a better analogy would be... And without further preamble, Arai began talking about his tribulations back in his broadcast writer days. Minorikawa smiled inwardly. The interview ended promptly after 15 minutes, the time that had been promised. Both men emerged from it as if from a daze. Minorikawa found himself staring Arai in the face, shaking him by the hand. So, what kind of story did I just get? He asked, speaking half to himself. You heard about one man and his life, and I have to admit, it was a good interview. Thanks, you have my gratitude. With a satisfied smile, Minorikawa closed his notebook. Right, glad to hear that then. Arai inclined his head, looking a bit bewildered. A flustered Tsukuzawa interrupted. Mr. Minorikawa, wasn't this interview for a piece about the performance? Huh? Minorikawa blinked. It's just that you were only asking about Mr. Arai and not about the performance itself, Tsukuzawa said. Oh, I see what you mean. Actually, I came here for a piece I'm going to be writing called Where Are They Now? Washed Up Broadcast Writers Showcase. But you, washed up? Arai was red in the face all over again. You bastard, how dare you? Forget everything I just told you. I do not give you my permission to use it in your magazine. You're too late. What? I've already heard your whole story. You should be grateful that I'll be writing a piece on it. You bastard! With a wild look in his eyes, Arai snatched up the hammer from the stage crew had the stage crew had left nearby. He's not, well, maybe he is going for you. Yeah, I think Minorikawa's asked for it. Go ahead, hit me. Oh, I hit you, alright. I think he's gonna go for the laptop. Arai waved the hammer menacingly. But the attack came to a sudden halt as a ringtone startled him out of his fury. Hold on a moment, Minorikawa said brightly. I have to take this. He whipped out his cell phone. Hello, Minorikawa speaking. This is Osawa. Wow, he called back a lot sooner than Minorikawa had expected. Have your daughters come home then? No. Actually, there's a favor I'd like to ask you. A favor? Okay, so this is how he gets mixed up with everything. Minorikawa thought back to his visit to the Osawa residence. The drawn curtains, the stricken look on Osawa's face. Minorikawa's instincts had sensed something significant going on. Apparently getting the full story wasn't going to come without some cost. A favor, huh? Is it something urgent? I'll pay whatever I have to. I just need you to look into something as quickly as possible. His voice had the telltale desperation of a man who'd been backed into a corner. Alright, Minorikawa said. I can help you out for a little while. Osawa hurriedly explained what he was after. The request was a strange one. He wanted Minorikawa to look into a scandalous article that 4-star general gossip had run about him in the past. What makes this so important? Do I have to say? I mean, you're asking me to look into something without explaining anything. I assume he got shuffled back into another, to his next scheduled thing by his manager. He eyed Arai, lurking nearby with obvious irritation. Okay, Arai's still there. Minorikawa would need to calm down the erstwhile broadcast writer, or else his interview really would be for naught. He decided to bluff both men at the same time. Let me just say one thing, he said into the phone. He made sure he spoke loud and clear so that Arai would overhear. I want to tell the world this story. No, I need to tell it. If I don't feel that way about something, no amount of money in the world will get me to write an article on it. That's my pride as a writer at work. Minorikawa could see Arai's aura of rage fading as he listened. The theater man looked surprised. Phew. Meanwhile, Osawa had decided to open up a bit. Alright, he said. I can't share all the details, but... Okay, he's in a talkative mood now. Good job, Minorikawa. See, this is going fine. The power balance of the entire world might be at stake here, Osawa continued. And I mean that quite literally. I can tell you more after you've done investigating. Wait, was he serious? How could the world's balance of power hinge on looking into some alleged marital affair? Look, I can read. It was so absurd that Minorikawa had to fight the urge to burst out laughing. A person would need to be out of his mind to believe a story like that. But Minorikawa wasn't the average person. And sometimes the truth was so ridiculous, it really was stranger than fiction. Osawa wasn't lying. Minorikawa's instincts told him that much. I think Minorikawa knows exactly what he's doing, and just knows how to pull the strings of people, to get what he wants. Though he is very, rude, and he did try punching an old man once. And then he tried punching a girl once. So, he's not above being rude. He just, I think for the job, for the interview, he knows how to, he knows the insides of people. I don't know. He knew what bluff would work right away. I think he's got it. Alright, he said. I'll check the editing department's notes from back then. Minorikawa felt his excitement building. Things were really getting interesting. For the moment, he nearly forgot Toyama and his troubles. When he ended the call, Arai approached him and extended his hand. Listen, your methods might be a little extreme, but I can tell you take pride in your work. Look, it all worked out. Can you... Look, you can say whatever you want, but the results are here. The results are, he gets them when he needs to. I'm sorry for getting so worked up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read. Of course I do. I bet you'd write a fine article about me. So please, Mr. Minorikawa, let the world know about me and my half-lived life. Minorikawa took the offered hand and shook it. Leave it to me. Once I'm done with it, you won't just be some washed-up nobody anymore, Mr. Orai. It's Arai. Minorikawa grinned. See, he's doing a little bit on purpose. Minorikawa rushed out of the theater. He'd completed all the interviews that he could get done before 4 o'clock. Now he had an hour left to write it all up to convince the folks from the loan company that the gossip could stay afloat. Rarg! He let out a roar. That was him. I thought he was gonna run into some trouble, but no. He let out a roar, psyching himself up for the final push. Alright, we reached this to be continued point. Roar! Oh, we have to go back. We have to jump. We have to jump to Kenji Osawa. Oh, I have to go far. I have to get through the whole interview. Can I get to the jump point? Go ahead, hit me. Okay, that's the roar. Where did the jump come from? I passed it? I guess I didn't see it. Oh, right, it's inside of this. I forgot. For some reason, I thought because the title of that chapter was called Kenji Osawa, that it would just be part of the call. Osawa picked up his cell phone and dialed Tanaka's number. The phone rang several times. He listened grimly to the empty mechanical sound, preparing himself for disappointment. What is it? Tanaka's voice sounded coldly in Osawa's ear. The tension was electric. Osawa felt a surge of outrage. He wanted to scream. But he took a deep breath and managed to maintain control. Tanaka? Where are you? Is Maria alright? Tanaka did not reply. The police told me. They said you were connected to the kidnapping. A soft chuckle came from the other end of the line. Well, the police sure do know how to do their jobs. So he's not denying it. Tanaka's tone was unapologetic. He sounded nothing like the man Osawa thought he knew so well. Why would you do this? Money? Are you having money troubles? Money? Tanaka replied. I suppose that's part of it. Honestly, I doubt you'd understand. Do you have any idea what it's been like for me, doing our research together? You're always the one who takes center stage. The fruits of our success are all yours. Even though you couldn't have done any of it without me. The more he said, the more vitriol seethed into his words. Osawa's hand trembled as he clutched the phone. The taker can never understand how it feels to be taken from him. You've hoarded so many things to yourself. So I'm taking some of them back. And with that, he hung up. Hey, Tanaka? Osawa dialed the number again, but Tanaka didn't pick up. So Tanaka is part of it. But is he part of everything? Osawa racked his brain, thinking back on how Tanaka had been acting earlier that day. Had there been anything unusual? Any clue at all, no matter how small? If he could find some hint, maybe he'd be able to find Maria and Hitomi. That was it. I had been suspicious of Tanaka all along. So much so that she planted a bomb. You know, she would plant a bomb. So much that she planted a bug on him, hidden in a tie clip. Her suspicions must have been pretty strong. Wait, Osawa recalled what Kajiwara had said. But still, if she is that worried, giving a tie clip as a gift is a bit... The words had struck Osawa as odd when he first heard them. I had never given him a tie clip. His heart gave a heavy throb in his chest. It couldn't be. No, it was impossible. That article from 4-Star General Gossip crept back into his mind. The article had talked about a man I had dated before she married Osawa. The man's identity was never revealed. Could it have been Tanaka? You've hoarded so many things to yourself, so I'm taking some of them back. Tanaka's cold words took on a new depth of meaning. Osawa felt the foundations of his life begin to crumble. Were Tanaka and I accomplices in all of this? No. Wait. Just calm down. He couldn't let himself jump to conclusions. He needed to be more level-headed. Everything depended on it. If the two really were accomplices, why would I have planted a bug on Tanaka? What purpose would that serve? What could it mean? It was no use. Osawa couldn't think of how that made sense. First things first, he needed to establish what the relationship between I and Tanaka really was. Well, I mean, we still don't know what that relationship is. If it is love, or if it's something different. So, you know, maybe it was worth hiding all these years. Yeah, and maybe financially, it was worth not trying to, like, rock the boat, right? Like, she's clearly making more money as the wife of Osawa than as Tanaka, right? And, like, I mean, that sounds cold, but we're talking about I here. Lady doesn't even give a shit about her stepdaughters being kidnapped or missing. I guess she only thinks one has been kidnapped. She's only in it for that money. I mean, that's her only concern. That's the only concern she has ever shown towards anything. Once he figured that out, he'd be able to get a better handle on the situation. Obviously, he couldn't just go and ask I directly. If she really were involved in all this, she certainly wouldn't tell him the truth. Osawa got back to the business card he tossed in the trash. He didn't relish the thought of getting help from that scavenging hyena. But now was no time to be picky. If he wasn't able to leave the house, he needs someone else to do some investigating for him. The freelance writer, Minoru Minorikawa. He was Osawa's only hope. I really like his business card, it's very nice. Huh. We hit his to be continued before the phone call. I guess they already assumed we know what the phone call was. Because we need to jump. There we go. This person also killed my friend. Everyone in Shibuya is going to die. Was this an accident or an attack? He's after Hitomi Osawa. How many hours ago was she infected? So you guys still want to keep going? The internet seems fine. We can probably do it. Boy, we got a lot to go with. Maria's been taken... was taken by the criminal organization. And they were going to take her, but then the detective showed up. So currently she's dealing with the detective who thinks she's Hitomi and has pulled a gun on her. Achi and Hitomi, did they meet up with Kanan? No, they're still trying to get out of the building, right? Yeah. Kano just saw his partner get stabbed. And Minorikawa is now getting finally wrapped up in everything. He's been on the fringe of events, but now he's directly involved. Let's go back to Maria. Wait, hold on. Is my name Hitomi Osawa? At my shout, the man with the cane hesitates, his finger on the trigger. What do you mean by that? The barrel of the gun is still aimed squarely at my head. I mean exactly what I said. Is my name Hitomi Osawa? I don't know who I am. You're trying to play games with me. I'm not playing with anyone, I swear. I'm utterly desperate now. Getting killed is one thing, but who wants to die without even knowing who they are? Tell me, am I Hitomi Osawa or not? The man gives me a good hard look. Damn it, I wonder. He continued to study me along the barrel of the gun. Tell me what you know. It's an order, not a request. What I know about what? Look, I have amnesia. I quickly summarize what's happened to me since I woke up in that storehouse. The man listens intently, never taking his eyes off of me. I see, so that's what's going on then. Once I'm done with my story, the man with the cane sits down on an empty soda crate. Seems he believes me at any rate. That's a relief, if nothing else. So then, am I Hitomi Osawa? No. Then who is Hitomi Osawa? Is she someone who looks like me? Shut your mouth, the man spits. Just be quiet. His expression is vacant. What am I going to do? He mutters to himself. If I'm not Hitomi Osawa, does that mean you don't have any business with me? Seems so. In that case, can I go? Am I free? The assassin doesn't answer. He lets his pistol hang limp in his hand, the muzzle dropping to point at the ground. It doesn't look like he wants to kill me anymore. But it doesn't look like he'll just let me go quietly either. I remain motionless, waiting for an opportunity to run away. I need to do something about that gun he has, and then make a run for it. I mean, Maria is like an action superstar, so maybe we should do this. Maybe get more action, Maria. I need to do something about that gun he has, and then make a run for it. I pick up one of the crates that are lying around in the alley and hurl at the man with the cane. Yeah, but you forget, this is Maria we're talking about. She defeated Miku. Also, this guy has had boxes dropped on him, and now just had this crate hurled into his face. Then he book it right out of there. Well, now I want to kill her. I run for a long time without looking back. When I finally do, I take a peek over my shoulder. There's no sign of the guy following me. Slowing my run to a walk, I notice Miku, the girl I fought for those cases of Burning Hammer, sitting on a nearby staircase. I'm glad she gets to be part of the story more. He's had a Looney Tunes-ass day. Thanks for earlier, I call out. She gives me a puzzled look. You let me have those diet drinks from the knick-knack shop. Revelation dawns on her face. Oh, right. I didn't recognize you since you're not a cat anymore. What are you gonna do here? I ask. Just like, you know. She gives me a half-hearted smile. Say, where'd you learn Jujitsu? Huh? The question catches me off guard. I don't know what to say. Your Aki Jujitsu. Where did you learn it? My Aki Jujitsu? Now that she mentions it, that's a great question. I mean, I must have learned somewhere, or my body wouldn't have moved the way it did back then. I wonder who taught me. Try as I might, though, I can't remember. Miku interprets my silence as a refusal to answer. She lets out an annoyed snort. What, is it a trade secret? Fine then. How long did you train? Not that long, I guess. Probably. I'm just trying to avoid telling her I have amnesia, but she obviously thinks I'm being secretive. You know, she says angrily. After losing to you, I've completely fallen apart. I've lost everything. No, you were supposed to have a new path. You were so excited, Miku. What happened? Do you know how that feels? To feel like you've lost hold of the thing that makes you, you? I nod with conviction. I do know. I've lost things too. Like my memory. See, she got around to it. You do? Well, I just can't take this anymore. I'm having a complete breakdown of identity. Developmental psychologist Eric Hamburger Erickson was a key proponent of the concept of self-identity, the ability of individuals to continually and reliably know who they are and what they should do. I mean, I'm saying this having lost you and all, but a long time ago... Oh, do you mind if I tell you some stuff from a long time ago? Anyway, so a long time ago, I'm gonna have this flashback. And so Miku launches into her story. This looks like an Eric. This is a fine Eric Erickson. I wish I knew Miku's story. I know there's not time for it, and it's not important to the current story, but I want to know what Miku's story is. How did she get wrapped up in fighting? I mean, we kind of learned that, right? Her plants got smashed, so she wanted to beat them up. But what really motivated her? What motivated her to do the bonsai? What motivates her? You think maybe it is for the best if I quit? She asks at last. By now, 15 minutes or more have gotten by. I've listened to Miku go on and on about her teenage years because I feel bad about getting her so depressed, but yikes. She asks me all these questions I don't even understand. But although I'm starting to get sort of fed up with her angst, I keep my patience and respond as best I can. If you love doing it, then I don't think you should quit, I tell her. Chances are, if you're going to try to do something else, you're just going to come back to martial arts anyway. Besides, you probably owe it to the person who sent you down this path in the first place. You think so? Maybe you're right, yeah. Yeah, you are. Miku's face has regained a measure of cheerfulness. Thanks, I'm going to keep on practicing more and more so I get stronger. I'm not going to lose to you next time. I'll keep that in mind. I've got no interest in fighting her again, but for now I'll keep that to myself. Alright then, see you around. With a parting wave, Miku hops to her feet and heads off. As I watch her leave, a feeling of jealousy wells up within me. Did I once have something I was that passionate about? I don't even know because I can't remember. I just can't remember. That gunman. The one with the cane. He might know something about me, but I kind of pissed him off. At this point, I'm even willing to risk a run-in with a killer to find out more about myself. I decide to head back to where he was before. Hey, are you okay? Sorry about throwing a shit in your face. We're cool, right? When I arrive at the alley, though, there's nobody there. Paradoxically, I'm both relieved and severely disappointed. Then I happen to notice something lying on the ground. What is it? I pick it up. It's a notebook. Slipped into the back cover is a photo showing 2 boys and a girl. Well, what do I do now? Do I go to the police? How would I even explain the situation? I can see it now. There's this killer out there and he's after this person named Hitomi Osawa? And then the police would be like, who's that? And who exactly is after her? And then what would I say? Heck, they might not even give me the time of day in the first place. Not only do I not have any idea who Hitomi Osawa is, I know nothing about the guy who's after her, except that he walks with a cane. I mean, I can't even tell them who I am. They'd probably shoo me away without a second thought. What am I supposed to do? I hang my head at a total loss. The necklace around my neck sways idly to and fro. Remember the necklace. Ah! Why is that so much louder than the rest of the game? It always jump scares me. Well, we reached the keep out point with Maria already. So we did the right thing by smashing him in the face. Achi's got Hitomi. Let's see how that's going. They're currently trapped in the mall still. Ah, okay, so they did run into Kanan. Kanan led them into a narrow back alley. The moment she stopped, Hitomi spoke up. Members of SOS don't come by here very much. Word has it that in this place, around 10 years ago, one man beat the crap out of 7 street toughs in the blink of an eye, all by himself. Over time, people have offered various theories. That he was an assassin, that he was some foreign soldier, even that he might have been a ghost. And to this day, the urban legend lives on. Why was my sister kidnapped? Before I answer that, there's something I need to tell you, Kanan said. Her tone was cold and sharp. I've come to Japan because I'm on a mission. I'm not at liberty to discuss all the details. Alright. Hitomi gave a slight nod. I like that she just knows an assassin. Like, oh, you're Maria's friend. The assassin. To answer your question, Maria was kidnapped by mistake. What? Hitomi gasped. But why? Because this kidnapper isn't after Maria. They're after you. Who's after me? The mastermind behind this whole thing, Kanan said. Her tone was matter-of-fact. Oh, hold on, Achi interrupted. What do they want Hitomi for? That I cannot say. Well then, who is this person? I can't tell you that either. You see, their sex, nationality, age, appearance, just about everything about them is shrouded in mystery. So there's honestly not much I can tell you. Achi and Hitomi stood dumbfounded. What gives? Achi said. So you're saying all you know is that this person has some lame name like Mastermind? Hitomi turned to whisper in his ear. Mastermind isn't actually their name. Originally used solely to refer to someone of remarkable intellect, the term first took on its criminal connotations in the 19th century. God, you're so stupid. I love you. That's what she's thinking right now. It's that comic of like Ada Wong and Leon Kennedy. God, he's so stupid. I can't not fuck him. It's just that. There's like a Ada Wong comic, like fan comic, and it just has Leon being the biggest bimbo ever, as it should, and she's just so into it. I'm here, Kanan spat, because I'm looking for revenge. Revenge? Hitomi asked. What for? This person also killed my friend. Kanan's inscrutable eyes flashed with a threatening gleam. Earlier you said that it was your fault my sister got kidnapped, Hitomi said. Kanan cast her eyes down. 4 days ago I managed to learn this criminal's plan. So I got in touch with Maria and told her that you were going to be attacked at that party. So that's why she told me not to go. Hitomi's voice trembled as she spoke. Yeah, it did seem like Maria knew that it was going to happen. I gave Maria a small GPS tracker to give to you, but I guess you never got it. Oh, good, more video. Global Positioning System. A network of man-made satellites and ground-based control stations for providing geolocation data. Alternatively, a device that makes use of said system. Modern cell phones and vehicle navigation systems use the GPS. Here's how it works. Sorry, I didn't expect it to be that loud. Hitomi shook her head. I see, she must still have it then. Wait, so then my sister? Hello, Raiders! How are you all doing this evening? Welcome to Huck. Let me give you a shout out. What were you up to? What do you like playing? My name's Snake Man. I usually play retro games. I guess this is a retro game. It's from 2008. It's from the Wii. That's retro, right? You feel hijacked? Hello, Xeon. Were you raided somewhere you didn't expect to be? You were also last playing retro. Yeah, that's cool. My name's Snake Man. I'm a retro streamer that pilots the Dream Harrier. It's a spaceship that goes through gaming space. On weekends, I've been exploring the space of visual novels with 428 Shibuya Scramble. We're in what are we on 1500 o'clock, right? So we're at 4 o'clock. Just been building a Core 2 Duo PC and installing Vista. Nice. I built I have like an early I think it's a Core 2 that I have Windows XP on. 1 minute was watching Huck do red alert things. Next minute I'm here. Also red alert. That's cool. I've never actually played a Command and Conquer game. That's a secret of mine. I really wasn't into RTS games. Well, I played like Age of Empires, but I never played like StarCraft or Command and Conquer or any of that. Well, welcome. I also stream PC stuff. I have a Windows 98 machine down here, and then in the office I have another Windows 98 machine that's older that has a AMD K2, and that's what I use for like DOS stuff. And then I have the XP machine, which is kind of overkill for XP, but it's all I had on hand. Oh no, the controller stopped working. Oh no, it's working again. This game seems to disable controller if it's idle too long or something. That's what the Steam thread I looked at, because I've had controller issues with this game. It's working. I just had somehow clicked out outside of it. So wait, then my sister. The color drained from Hitomi's face as she understood. Have you played this before? Yes, Kanan replied. Maria acted as your decoy and let herself get kidnapped in your stead. So Maria let herself get kidnapped instead of, say, go to the police. Which I assume Kanan told her not to go to the police. But, man, she could have just not been there. But then the kidnappers would have eventually found Hitomi anyway. So I guess that works out. Hitomi swayed on her feet, shocked to the verge of fainting. Achi hurriedly reached out and caught her in his arms. But wait, he said to Kanan as he held Hitomi up. I don't get that either. Why didn't neither of them go? Then nobody would have been kidnapped, right? That's what I was just asking, but then I realized why. I mean, why'd her sister need to go and act as a decoy? Kanan let out a tiny sigh. If she hadn't gone to the party, the kidnappers would have just found some other opportunity to come after her. Oh no, Achi has a point. Except I already debunked his point. Ah, okay. Achi nodded. That sort of makes sense. I'm betting that was Maria's plan. Or Maria's plan was to use the GPS to lead me to these guys' hideout. She wanted to keep her sister safe and also figured she could help me with my mission. It's the sort of scheme she'd think of. So then you can't use the GPS to locate Hitomi's sister? So then can't use the GPS to locate Hitomi's sister? Achi asked. Kanan shook her head. The GPS hasn't been powered on since she was kidnapped. It's possible the kidnappers took it from her. Wait, what? So after all that, even you can't find Maria? Achi slumped his shoulders in disappointment. I didn't say that. What do you mean? I got some intel from those syndicate members we met earlier. Apparently sometime this morning they put Maria into a blue minivan, and since then they've been moving her around, all around Shibuya. Achi and Hitomi exchanged glances at the mention of the blue minivan. Unfortunately, Kanan continued, those operatives didn't know what the current situation was exactly. So we're back to the blue van then. Achi hurriedly explained what they'd been through so far. He mentioned how they'd first seen the blue van where the kidnappers had told Hitomi to find it. He also described how first the man with the cane and then a host of others had come after them. He got a little sidetracked here and there, but Kanan quietly listened to the end. I see, she muttered. So then, what do you think? Achi asked. Seems like we messed up their scheme a little, huh? Whatever the case, this man with the cane concerns me, Kanan said. I doubt he's working with the others. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's it. Some guy who isn't involved butts in, and it throws off their whole plan. Kanan nodded in agreement. Because you and that man with the cane showed up, she said, they couldn't leave the minivan where it was. They took a sensible precaution. But then if you think about it, isn't this an opportunity for us to turn the tables on Mr. Mastermind? Kanan flashed him a faint speculative smile. I wonder about that. Ah, come on, Hachi grumbled. You're such a buzzkill. Any well-made plan has a good, solid outline, which means that even after it has come to fruition, it's easy to trace things back to the planner. Is that how that works? By contrast, if you achieve your goals using accidental means, the outline becomes blurred and makes it harder for anyone outside looking in to grasp what the actual plan is. Achi swallowed hard as he took in the gravity of the situation. Well, but I mean, like, if there's an accident, people are gonna for sure panic. Plan or not. The corners of Kanan's lips curled up. Typically, I suppose, she said. But the people who are after Hitomi, not only have they put together a perfect plan, they purposely left certain tiny holes in it. And so we can't even figure out who they are. The outline of the plan is always too blurry. Achi had no response to that. It was like he was hearing about some completely different world beyond the one he knew. If what Kanan had said was true, he'd been dealing with opponents that were on a level way above his own. In any event, since these people are after you, it'd be best if you didn't wander around town anymore, Kanan told him. By now Hitomi had recovered. She stood up straight and shook her head. No, I'm going to find that blue minivan. My sister is in danger because of me. I can't abandon her just to save myself. Yeah, that's right. Achi patted Hitomi on the back. And if that's what you're gonna do, then I don't care who we're up against. I'm with you in this until the end. Heck, it's too late for me to back out now. That ship has already failed. Hitomi giggled despite herself. It's already sailed, Achi. Oh god, Achi, you're so dumb. Yeah. Kanan let out another little sigh. They're both dumb. Alright. Just make sure you're extra careful, she said. You can't count on getting bailed out of trouble like you have before. I understand, Hitomi said. Her eyes showed no trace of doubt or fear. I think that's every Achi hour is a good hour for the you're so dumb. Kanan gave her a slight nod, then quickly disappeared down the alleyway. Hey, we should probably get her number or something. Right then, Achi said. Want to get back to looking for that minivan? Then he stopped, remembering their previous efforts. If they just heedlessly wander around town, they'd probably end up in the same trouble they'd encountered before. They'd get chased by the man with the cane, or by the kidnappers, and their search would be interrupted yet again. What should they do then? There had to be a better way. Achi happened to glance upward and caught sight of a surveillance camera installed on one of the streetlights. Oh, it makes sense if his dad installed them that he knows about them. That's it! God, I can't believe I didn't think of it before. I'm so stupid. Hitomi peered at him, startled by his sudden shouting. We just need to use my old man's surveillance cameras and this'll be a breeze. Achi took Hitomi by the hand and started running. His destination? The security camera monitoring room in Dogenzaka. Theme of Achi. Achi didn't slow his pace until they were nearing their destination. Then he turned to look back at Hitomi. He was about to ask if she was doing alright when someone close at hand called out to him. Hey, mind if I ask you something? Have you ever heard of SOS? Achi stopped in his tracks as a stranger stepped in front of him. The guy looked too old to be picking a fight with SOS. Achi regarded him with suspicion. Hey look, it's Aya Kamiki. Yeah, why do you ask? Do you happen to be a member yourself? No, not anymore. The man's eyes flashed with a gleam of recognition. Did this guy know who he was? With a broad grin, the stranger took a step closer. Achi's heart sank. He couldn't afford to get caught up in some new hassle right now. Hitomi flashed him a worried look. Let's go. Achi and Hitomi dodged past the man and hurried onward. Even if the guy was harmless, they needed to be on their guard. Norikawa is anything but harmless. There's no telling just how many thugs and assassins were looking for Hitomi. Rather than head directly for the surveillance building, Achi decided he better make sure the stranger wasn't up to something. Hitomi followed as he slipped quickly into a back alley. There was no indication that the man was following them. What was that guy's deal? Hitomi asked. No idea. But he sure seemed kind of fishy. Doesn't look like he's coming after us, though. They took a quick detour through another seedy back alley. Oh, they're gonna run into the boys, aren't they? Then, as they were starting to head toward their original destination, Achi felt a sudden searing pain in his back. Oh, it's High School Musical. Glancing over his shoulder, he discovered that one of the foreign syndicate members had crept up and struck him from behind. Yeah, he just teleported in, the instant transmission, and stabbed Achi. Oh no, I've been stabbed. I can't scream. My throat is too hoarse to scream. Ah! Hitomi screamed. Another man had suddenly appeared, grabbing her by the arms. Wait, this is totally illegal. Hitomi. Achi tried to reach out to her, but his arm was leaden. His body refused to obey his commands. Oh, that jacket is so puffy, he probably's fine. As the attacker wrenched the knife from his back, Achi felt the blood gushing out of his wound. The two men started to drag Hitomi away. Damn it. He tried to pursue them, but his legs faltered and couldn't find their footing. He was losing blood so fast he was starting to fade from consciousness. Achi could only watch, impotently, as Hitomi was dragged further and further away. I can't believe Achi got stabbed by High School Musical. Stabbed by a kidnapper. This is totally my fault. Achi got stabbed, caught in a surprise attack by one of the kidnappers. He could only watch helplessly as Hitomi was taken away. If that weird guy hadn't tried to talk to him, Achi would never have taken the risk of wandering through the alleys. But how can you keep that guy from wanting to interview Achi? I don't know, how do you stop Minorikawa from wanting to interview? It's kind of his thing. It's what powers him. I guess we should check in on Minorikawa then. Hey kid, that stabbing looks pretty painful. He just points at it. Is this all your blood? Well, he's trying to do it all, right? Huh, wait a second. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. Yeah, I mean, he has the Osawa job, but he also has to write for this paper and keep his friend from, like, killing himself, right? Gah! Minorikawa stopped and let out a cry of frustration. Oh, there's a student driver. I know this because I know that symbol. Daisuke Endo had asked him for a favor after the interview was done. Right, he was supposed to tell the Wandering Angels guy about the freezer or the smoke machine. Something like that. He promised to tell the Wandering Angels that the dry ice machine they purchased was defective. See, that's like close to a smoke machine or a freezer. It's a freezer that is a smoke machine. At last, the climax of the play drew near. There was a whole string of troubles, but the cast soldiered on, and it looked like things were going to end all right. Then, backstage, Bando noticed that the dry ice machine was acting strangely. Even after it had been turned off, the machine continued to churn out more dry ice. The producer, Tsukuzawa, demanded that the defective device be returned immediately, and so Tezuka, Bando, and Amo loaded it into their vehicle and left the theater. Continued in episode 6. Oh no, it's too late. Well, damn. That completely slipped his mind. If he recalled correctly, the issue was that once the machine started making dry ice, it wouldn't stop. If he ran back to the theater now, he'd lose about 10 minutes. He'd also probably get run over. Minorikawa checked his wristwatch. The mysterious wristwatch. The lone people would be coming by the editing office before too long. He needed to prove to them that next month's issue of 4-Star General Gossip was well underway, or else they'd refuse to wait any longer for repayment. And to do that, he needed to fill a minimum of 6 of the 12 remaining blank pages. He couldn't afford to waste even a single second. This was an awkward position to be in. He needed to keep his promise to Endo, but he also needed to spend this time wisely. I guess I don't have a choice. There's nothing he could do about having forgotten. He hurried to the cafe He'd agreed to take on responsibility. He headed back to the theater. Minorikawa seems like the kind of man who, if he gives him his, if he gives you his word, he will make sure he tries to follow through on it, right? Also, that guy wanted to kill him, and that was really funny, so maybe they'll interact again. This could also end up leading us to Achiendo, which probably kills Achi, but whatever. He'd agreed to take on the responsibility. He headed back for the theater. When he got there, he flagged down the first guy he saw to tell him about the dry ice machine. Hey, make sure I remember what I'm about to tell you, okay? The dry ice machine is broken. The man stared back at him blankly, but Minorikawa just forged ahead. Got it? The dry ice machine is broken. It needs to go back to the electronics shop. Make sure you let the folks in charge here know. His obligation met, he hurried back to the cafe to get back to work on his copy. Yep, that's a job well done, Minorikawa. Along the way, he caught sight of a young couple running. They seemed like an odd pair. The girl looked prim and proper, while the boy struck him as a bit thuggish. It must be those leopard pants. Or maybe they're snake's pattern? I don't know, these camo pants. In fact, the boy's clothing was very much into the style worn by Shibuya street gangs. Maybe he'd know something about SOS. Hurrying to cross their path, Minorikawa called out to the pair. Hey, mind if I ask you something? Have you heard of SOS? Do you want to get stabbed today? The pair stopped, eyeing him waringly. The young man spoke. Yeah, why do you ask? Do you happen to be a member yourself? No, not anymore. Well, if the kid had once been part of the group, he ought to be able to provide some background anyhow. Minorikawa took a step closer to the couple, formulating his next question. But they didn't stick around to hear it. Let's go, the young man said, and a moment later he and the girl were running away. Ah, hey! But the pair paid him no heed. In a moment they had vanished down an alley just to get stabbed. The story about SOS would have to wait till later then. I guess I should probably go back in time and fix that, huh? I guess I should do that now. Minorikawa hurried into the cafe. Wasting no time, he sat right down and plugged his laptop into the nearest power outlet. He plunked himself down on the floor and hit the computer's power switch. The waitress gave him a disapproving look. Oh god, he's back again. Sir, I'm afraid you can't sit there. Well, it looks like your tables are full. I'll make do here. Well, being able to make do isn't really the issue. I'll have a coffee, please. Ugh. She is so done with him. Just do whatever you want. The waitress turned away and stared vacantly up at the ceiling. She's so done with him. You know, a person can only get away with being obnoxious for so long. Sooner or later, someone's likely to call the police. Oh, it's that guy. It's Mr. Oh my god, I'm so bad with names. Minorikawa stood up, looked up from his work, startled to see the burning hammer salesman standing over him. Yanagashida. You know what's funny? I said the name, yes, someone asked if there was more of the Afro guy. And I said, I'm sure there'll be more Yanagashida. And now today I can't remember. That's how my brain is right now. You know they say depression like kills your brain cells? Because you're like actively forcing yourself to like forget and bury things. Anyway, don't mind me. Minorikawa looked up from his work, startled to see the burning hammer salesman standing over him. You're Mr. Yanagashida. Thank you so much for stopping by earlier. Are you going to write your article here? Yanagashida eyed Minorikawa's computer. Oh, that's the latest model, isn't it? Look, I got no time to talk right now. Minorikawa opened the file with his half-written copy. Ooh, what's this? Chaos at Bogus Weight Loss Drink Sales Demo. Yanagashida read the copy aloud. Oh, we got a name for him, Junichi. Did we get that last time? Like, did we get that during the interview? The organizer, Junichi Yanagishita, didn't merely have a whiff of deceit about him. His breath also stunk. You think we saw it at some point? Okay. Sound good? Minorikawa asked. I wanted to make sure I gave an accurate impression. Oh, I love what you've done with it. This is a great copy. Fantastic. Yanagishita turned to look at him with a manic grin. Yeah, isn't it? In a flash, Yanagishita's face went from grinning to livid. Like hell it is. You think I'm gonna just let you write something like that? Oh no, Yanagishita heel turn. Snatching up the computer, Yanagishita bolted out of the cafe. Hey, get back here! Minorikawa leapt to his feet and rushed out in pursuit. This is excellent. As he sprinted madly along, Yanagishita turned down a narrow alley. Minorikawa stayed close behind, desperate not to lose sight of him. His quarry began to weave his way through the back alleys of Shibuya. SMV February. This guy clearly knew his way around town. By Miyashita Park, they zipped up onto a pedestrian bridge. Just where the heck was this idiot going? Halfway across the overpass, Yanagishita suddenly stopped. Confused, Minorikawa stopped as well. Oh, this is echoing the attaché case part. Give that back, he called. The next moment, Yanagishita flashed a mocking grin and dangled the laptop over the railing. Uh-oh, no space. Minorikawa lunged toward him, but it was already too late. The laptop left Yanagishita's hand and went spinning down through the air. Then, as the two men struggled, Yanagishita himself toppled over the railing. For some reason in my head, it's like really funny. Like him just like, whoops, just going over the railing. Despite him probably being dead. Without hesitating, Minorikawa jumped down as well. Whoa, God, everyone's dead. Minorikawa landed hard. As he struggled to regain his breath, he looked around and saw Yanagishita beside him. Incredibly, the laptop was safe in the charlatan's grasp. Apparently, he'd somehow managed to catch it in midair. Before Minorikawa could be too relieved, however, Yanagishita got to his feet and took off running again. So let's see, this overpass has to go over a highway? Or, you know, like a busy road, right? And the road probably has like a clearance of 14 feet for trucks, I'd have to guess. Maybe more. 18 feet? What's the bridge that just chops all the trucks in half? Like, I love that bridge. There's just a bridge that, like, cannot be rebuilt. The way it's built, it's like, you cannot rebuild it, right? And they need the bridge. But it also has, like, an incredibly low clearance. So you just have videos of trucks smashing into it. Love that bridge. Also, Yanagishita's pretty sprightly. The 11'8". Yeah, so I think traditionally, it's 14 to 18 feet is like a truck clearance. So that's how far you can guess that they fell. Minorikawa hit the he hit the planting, you know, the hard planting over there. It looks really rough. Oh, they managed to get it up to 12.3, and congratulations. Get back here, you little weasel. I mean, I assumed it would, because that's the clearance rating, right? Like, that should take into the thickness of the bridge. 12.3 is still too low for many trucks. Yeah, like I said, thinking 14 to 18 is the number in my head. I don't think so. This Yanagashita guy was infuriating. He was really fast. Yo, if I find out that Yanagashita is immortal, like like the two in that one light novel. Oh my god, my brain is so bad. I brought it up last time. We talked about it before. Bakano. I already answered. You don't type it. I don't care what your delay is. I already did it. I got to it. If running away was a competitive sport, this guy would be a world-class superstar. As he ran along, a peculiar thought occurred to him. Hold on a minute. If he hates my copy that much, shouldn't he have wanted my computer to break? Why'd he go out of his way to catch it like that? It made no sense at all. Hey, Minorikawa shouted between gasping breaths. What are you planning to do with my laptop? Sorry, the 11-12 foot is the clearance of that bridge. I meant that it's not counting the thickness for the distance Yanagashita jumped. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I assume, like I said, it's going to be a taller bridge, because it probably doesn't decapitate trucks. Yanagashita glanced back at him. Gonna sell it. Sorry about this. What? Minorikawa was taken aback. Consider it compensation for defamation of character. In the civil sense, the act of unlawfully damaging another person's character or reputation in the public eye. In the criminal sense, the act of disseminating damaging facts about an individual to an unspecified large number of people. Come on, get real. It can't be defamation if the article hasn't run yet. Then consider it in advance on the compensation. This is so nonsensical, it made Minorikawa's head hurt. By now, at least, he knew why Yanagashita had died after the computer. The thief continued to weave his way through the side streets. His speed didn't diminish in the slightest. Damn it, this guy has too much experience running away. These two deserve each other. You know, Yanagashita, he's pretty good runner for those shoes. I couldn't run in those shoes. Minorikawa's stamina began to fade, and finally he lost sight of his quarry. But that didn't mean he was ready to give up the search. There were articles on that computer that were right on the verge of completion. Whatever it took, he had to get it back. Yanagashita had said he was going to sell it. Where could he be headed then? Probably he was headed to the sales demo venue. Probably he was headed to a knickknack shop. Probably he was headed to Endo Electronics. There's no reason to go to the sales demo. Knickknack shop would get us more of that one dude. Endo Electronics would probably meet up with Achi if only Achi hadn't been stabbed. So since I think we're on a bad path already, because I have to go fix time anyway, let's go see the knickknack shop guy. Probably he was headed to a knickknack shop. Minorikawa recalled seeing one near the burning hammer demo site. He also recalled seeing a poster outside the place that read, "We buy computers at top prices." I remember that. Damn. The guy had led him on a wild goose chase. That shop was surely where he was going to sell the laptop. Gulping a deep breath, he headed in that direction. Action, Minorikawa. There you are, Yanagashita. Minorikawa burst into the shop on center guy, an accusing finger pointing squarely at the thief. Listen, there's no way I'm buying a computer that doesn't have a power cable. Details. All you sell here is junk anyway. Yanagashita and the shopkeeper had gotten into an argument. Minorikawa recognized the shopkeeper. It was the guy he'd run into on the roadside earlier. That computer belongs to me, Minorikawa shouted as he marched up to them. Give it back. Yanagashita clutched the laptop to his chest. Nah, I need the money. Knock it off, you're acting like a child. Minorikawa tried to slap him out of his tantrum, but Yanagashita ducked to avoid the blow. And then, bizarrely, Yanagashita froze. A fierce gleam came to his eyes. That. He broke into an incomprehensible stammer. That's it! Yanagashita snatched up the flyer that his gaze had fixed on. Iron stomach, huh? No? What do you mean? Minorikawa had met both of these guys before. He met Yanagashita during the Burning Hammer event, and he met this guy on the side of the road. He interviewed him by pissing him off, which is, I guess, Minorikawa's style. You know what? You could have this. Yanagashita shoved the laptop into Minorikawa's arms. Haha, and welcome to it, you idiot. I don't need no worthless computer. You're the idiot, Buster. Minorikawa smacked Yanagashita right across the face. Ouch. Hitting him felt good. He decided to do it again. Minorikawa shoved Yanagashita toward the shopkeeper. Hand this guy over to the police, he said. No, not the police, Yanagashita pleaded. Can it, you thief? You tried to rip me off, and you have no idea how much is riding on my work. I don't know, because that's like a lot of different moments happened where Yanagashita was cornered by loan sharks, and then they would see the other guy, Toyama, or, you know, like... I feel like that's happened multiple times. You deserve 10,000 deaths. Honestly, you'd think that dying once would be sufficient. 10,000? Isn't that taking things just a little too far? I'm sorry already, I give up. Finally, the guy was ready to surrender. Minorikawa let his guard down for just a moment. Like hell I am! Switching gears in an instant, Yanagashita took off running at full speed. This again. Get back here, you bastard! Minorikawa was already in pursuit. I guess he wants to do justice. No, that's why it's fun. He stuck with Yanagashita as far as Koen-dori before losing track of him. The guy sure knew how to make a getaway. So I must have missed some bad ends, because I could have probably gone the wrong direction. I think I was overthinking it. I was like, oh, if he goes to the Endo place, Achi will be there if Achi isn't stabbed. And maybe they will team up. I don't know. I was thinking more of the overarching story, but if he can't recover the laptop, that's probably a bad end. Also, probably the Toyama guy hangs himself again. Breathing hard, Minorikawa stopped and took a look around the area. You know, I'm starting to get popped for the song on YouTube. As he did, he heard a cell phone ringtone from somewhere nearby. It was the new single from the pop singer Aya Kamiki. Could that be Yanagashita's phone? Huh. Could be. Somehow he struck Minorikawa as the type of guy who'd have a ringtone like that. It seemed worth looking into anyhow. He had nothing else to go on. Minorikawa shifted his gaze around, trying to locate the source of that sound. Oh. Oh. Suddenly, a fiery blast knocked him from his feet. By the time he realized it was an explosion, his senses were already shattered. I guess that's the explosion from the intro. What just happened? He couldn't see. He couldn't hear. He couldn't move his body. Where am I? For a while, all he could feel was an intense pain. But soon even that faded away. And then, there was only darkness. Ah, we were in a bad end. I knew it. An unexpected explosion. Though maybe it's not from my decision making, and maybe it's from some other plot point. Chasing Yanagashita led Minorikawa to the wrong place at exactly the wrong time. This wouldn't have happened if Yanagashita hadn't run when he did. If the MMA fighter Miku Morita comes into the knickknack shop, she'll interrupt their argument and things might turn out differently. Will she? Okay, I guess I need to find Miku again with someone. That was a weird hint. The hint was just like, hey, this is what you do. Although it doesn't say who to do it with. Okay, so we're on the lookout for Miku. Maria's currently at a keep out, right? Yeah. Maria's at a keep out. Minorikawa is at a bad end. Osawa begins his thing here. A complete, like, 45 minutes after we left him. After we last left him. I guess he's taken the whole thing pretty hard. And Achi got stabbed. I guess we should fix the Achi got stabbed part, huh? No reason to leave that. There's nothing he could do about having forgotten about the dry ice machine. He hurried on to the cafe. Sorry, Endo. Sorry, Orai. You're just gonna have to let this one slide. I've got Toyama's life on the line here. He opened the door to the cafe with the practice of a regular. Oh, we're getting a new scene. Welcome. The waitress only got that far before her face fell. You again. Hey, hurry up and get me a seat. She grinned wickedly. I'm terribly sorry, sir, but we're all full at the moment. He looked around. All the seats were indeed filled. 3 o'clock's a busy hour for them. As you can see, sir. Really now. The waitress's grin widened with triumph. Yes, sir. Fine, I'll just write here. Let me get some power. Jamming his power cable into a nearby outlet, Minorikawa plunked himself right down on the floor and booted up his laptop. The waitress watched in dismay, then turned to stare vacantly up at the ceiling. Just do whatever you want, she muttered vaguely. Okay. So that has fixed Achi. It's not fixed our buddy. But it has fixed Achi. Let's go back to Achi. Let's go back to not getting stabbed. Not being stabbed is pretty good, right? Achi didn't slow his pace until they were nearing their destination. He turned to look back at Hitomi. It's only a little bit further. Do you want to walk? I'll be alright. Ah, Achi, look out! Looking ahead, again, Achi saw that they were bearing down on a young grade school girl. Her head hung in dismay. Oh, is it Hana? Achi hurriedly caught the girl up in his arms, or took a quick leap to one side. This one is like, took a quick leap to one side is very like Shenmue, but I kind of want to see him just pick her up. Yoink! Achi hurriedly caught the girl up in his arms. The maneuver kept her out of harm's way, but the momentum swung her high into the air. She dropped a sheaf of papers she was carrying. As luck would have it, the papers fell amidst the trash scattered alongside the road. Achi, you're littering! This is the opposite of what you do. Whoops, sorry. Achi stopped to gather up the sheets of paper, noting that each was adorned with some sort of writing. Here, looks like they got messed up though. The pages had landed in some kind of spilled liquid. Most of them had gotten stained. It's alright, the girl said gloomily. You should just throw them away. It's not like I can sell them now anyway. You're gonna sell them? Hitomi asked. We're sorry, do you think you'll be able to redo them? Achi, is there a that's Hitomi speaking. Achi, is there a stationery store nearby? Yeah, up at the top of Dogenzaka, Achi said. Here. He took a 5,000 yen note from his wallet and offered it to the girl. To buy new paper. I know I can't replace the stuff you wrote, but... The girl eyed the money doubtfully. It's fine, go ahead, take it. Thank you very much. Hana got paid. The little girl spoke with surprising formality, then she turned and headed up Dogenzaka. Achi gathered up the trash and tossed it into a garbage bin, before he and Hitomi continued on their way. I somehow got into the proper action. I bet if he tried to sidestep, I noticed that there were stairs, he probably would have died. Achi led Hitomi to an old multi-tenant building. They hurried inside and headed up the stairs. Behind the reception window on the second floor sat the custodian, sleeping on the job. This is Yokinori Kitajima. His main job is overseeing the monitoring room for the local surveillance cameras, but on the side he also works as a novelist and game scenario writer. He often sleeps on the job during his free time, but sometimes while he's asleep, he gets his writing done. Just recently a certain game was released, set in Shibuya, but since he wrote the scenario and emailed it to the game company while he was asleep, he didn't know about it until just the other day. Good job. Good job shadow writing this game. Hey, wake up, man. Achi gave the window a tap and the man woke with a start. He just does it. Some people are like that. Ghost Rider shows up and just does the job for him. Huh? Achichi, don't scare me like that. That's one chi too many. And wow, you sure seem to have a lot of free time on your hands. Yeah, no one's been by to check today. Well, that's not so bad, right? I mean, I guess it is a surveillance room, but still. God, if someone had checked the surveillance room, I'm sure they would have seen some shit. The man let out a big yawn. My dad asked me to come down here and check on the security monitors, actually, Achi said. Sorry to bother you when you're busy, Hitomi added with a polite bow. Huh? Who are you? You with Achichi? I'm Hitomi Isawa. It's nice to meet you. Oh, what? You Achichi's girlfriend? Again, too many cheese there, and that's none of your business. Just let me have the key. Hoping his blush wasn't too obvious, Achi mimed unlocking a door. You won't answer a simple question. You want me to hand over the key? Yes, I'm his girlfriend, Hitomi said. We just started dating, so I'm sure I'll be seeing more of you, sir. She flashed a winning smile. Oh, what a surprise. Never thought Achichi could land a fine lady like yourself. The surprised custodian held out the key, looking smug as all shit. Good for you, Achichi. Still one chi too many there. But yeah, dating. Achi gazed into Hitomi's face, even more surprised than the custodian. The key dangled, swaying to and fro like a pendulum between Achi and the man behind the counter. Achi, Hitomi said, nudging him in the side with her elbow. Come on. I add my little additions here and there. Oh, right. Snapping out of it, Achi took the key and headed up to the next floor. But I mean, look at the guy. What is this Achi face? I'm sorry, Hitomi said as they entered the monitoring room. For just saying we were dating like that, I mean. It was a pretty clumsy lie. No, it was just kind of sudden is all. I was just a bit jittery, I guess. Achi felt his cheeks color again. I mean, I figured I had to say something or he wasn't going to cooperate, Hitomi said. She looked a little embarrassed herself. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make things weird. No, Achi said. No, it wasn't weird at all. Actually, it was kinda... He stopped himself there. Now wasn't the time for that sort of conversation. They needed to find that blue minivan. Ominous computer. That's what Achi's face looked like right there. The surveillance camera monitoring room was really just a big office with a single computer. Achi knew it well. So this is the monitoring system, he explained. He switched on the computer. You can see all of downtown Shibuya from this computer. That hard drive. Spin it up, baby. Hitomi gazed impatiently at the monitor, even though it wasn't showing anything yet. The look of sheer determination on her face held Achi enthralled. She's like, well, you can't get an SSD? I know it's 2008, but... my father has an SSD. You talk about how attractive your sister is, Achi murmured. But as far as I'm concerned, right now you're the lovely one, Hitomi. I say this as not having actually seen your sister. Except I have seen your sister, but I didn't know I saw your sister. Anyway. Hitomi looked at him, uncertain. I mean, look at the lengths you're going to and the risks you're taking to save your sister, Achi said. I can't bear the thought that something might happen to her. Oh, I can't bear the thought that something might happen to her. And the last time we were together, I said such horrible things. Plenty of people do bad things without even realizing they're bad. Never mind trying to fix it. I'm just doing what I think is right. Yeah, but these days, most people don't do the right thing. Heck, if they did, Shibuya wouldn't be covered in trash like it is. Me? I appreciate it when someone really cares about the things that are important. Doing the right thing as a matter of course, that's very attractive. Achi blushed as he said it, and Hitomi shyly looked away. Ah, I think the system is ready. Turning to the computer, Achi hastily changed the subject. This thing's so simple, even I know how to use it. Clicking on the mouse, he brought up a row of 4 windows on the monitor. This is your grand system. Each window showed a different view of the Shibuya cityscape. The image quality is not great, but that's because it's being updated on a 2-second delay, I guess. Achi tapped on the keyboard, bringing up shots of different locations. He clicked on one of them in order to enlarge the image. Maybe we really can find that minivan with this. Hitomi was practically glued to the screen. My dad's the one who designed the security system. Your dad must be pretty amazing. Well, he graduated top of his class at Tokyo Denko University. A prestigious national university founded over a century ago. Applicants who place highly on the entrance exam can receive a full scholarship. Achi's father is one such attendee. The school has supported extensive research into artificial intelligence and has recently announced an AI program known as Body. While the computer is asleep, different personalities emerge, which have an impact on various normal thought processes, forming a network of more human-like thought processes as a result. Fictional university? That's a real university with one vowel changed. That's the classic. It's probably Denka. I think I've heard of Denka University. Denki. Okay. He always said he could have a career in computer engineering, but he took over the electronics shop so that he could marry my mother instead. That's such a sweet story. Do they run the store together then? Achi shook his head. No, my mother died when I was 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Hitomi sounded even sadder than Achi. Well, anyway, never mind that. Here, look. Well, at least we know what happened to Achi's mom. The seedy-looking weirdo they'd run into at Jigo was on the screen. Huh? That guy again? Said weirdo is running all out, a laptop computer under one arm. He is being chased by a man in a long coat. That guy sure gets chased around a lot, huh? Achi said. When the weirdo slipped out of view, Achi switched to another camera. The new view showed the weirdo running again. Now, Hitomi, I know we should be looking for a blue van, but, like, look at this. Check this shit out. By hopping from camera to camera, they could track him wherever he went. So long as we have these cameras, Achi said, this guy has nowhere to run. Nowhere to run, huh? The moment he said those words, they struck an odd chord in his mind. He remembered their repeated run-ins with the man with the cane, how the assassin had seemed always to know where to find them. Achi, please, Hitomi urged. Stop messing around and let's look for the minivan. But he has an afro and he's running. Sorry, there's just something I'm curious about. Alright, my bad. I want him to keep looking. Sorry, there's just something I'm curious about. Achi continued to track the seedy-looking man. The weirdo rushed into a knick-knack shop on Center Guy. Soon after, the man with the coat appeared and followed him into the shop. Aha, it looks like he snatched that guy's computer. Still, they remained glued to the monitor. Oh, that's me. Hitomi took out her cell phone. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Ah, okay. Yeah, it was about time for my mood to take a dip. Yeah, it was about time for my mood to take a dip, Achi thought. What? Hitomi blurted. She looked up from her phone. Achi, Mr. Tanaka found the minivan. He what? What does he say? Read it to me. Okay. I ran after it, but wound up losing sight of it. It was heading towards Jinan. That's what he says. What about your sister? We could jump back? Oh, no, we can't. That's right. Wait, is that right? Where do we leave Maria? Maria's not dead, is she? No, Maria's fine, I guess. In fact, she's double fine. Huh. He doesn't say. Achi switched over to an array of surveillance cameras near Jinan. The few seconds the transition took felt agonizingly slow. Finally, 4 new images popped up. Achi quickly enlarged one of them. Ah! Ah! Hitomi let out a tiny gasp. There's also good face. There, on the monitor, was the blue minivan. There's no doubt about it. So, in the intro of the game, we saw someone in the back of a car with, I think, a bag over their head, and they were texting. Well, could that have been Mr. Tanaka before the explosion happened? I guess that's me assuming that that explosion is this explosion, which I don't think we've stopped. I think all we can do is keep Minorikawa from running into the explosion. As of now, we're sending Achi and Hitomi straight into the explosion. That's what my thought is, that the minivan is rigged to explode. And maybe send out the virus? Speeding towards Jinan in an all-out run. Run, Achi. Run, Hitomi. Run, other guy who's looking for Miku. Other guy looking for Miku? Minorikawa's looking for Miku. If he wasn't dead. Interesting. So I have a jump for Maria and a jump for Minorikawa. Neither spoke. They simply dashed along in silence. Achi felt as if they'd been running a marathon, and the finish line had finally come into view. They hooked a left at the station and darted past the Seibu department store. Ah! Achi pointed as he came to a stop. The blue minivan was still there, parked by the curb along the slight hilly incline. Leaving Achi behind, Hitomi started rushing up the hill. Alarm bells started going off in Achi's mind. Someone from the kidnapping crew was in that van. It was dangerous to approach carelessly. Stay back, don't get close, don't get close. Hitomi, wait. I mean, these are like the same thing. Hitomi wait's more personal? Achi shouted, but she didn't appear to hear his cries. The hope of rescuing her sister had driven all else from her mind. Yeah, and I think someone was like banging on the window of the car before the explosion in the intro video. Achi started to run after her. Hitomi had reached the vehicle already. She brought her face close to one of its windows, but the tinted glass obscured the view inside. Hitomi circled around to the minivan's other side. Achi saw her grasping at the door. She slipped out of his view for just a moment. Oh my god, video! Oh my god, video! There was a thunderous explosion, and a gout of flame tore the roof off of the minivan like it was made of aluminum foil. FMB February lives! Hitomi! Horrified, Achi charged through roiling smoke, searching for Hitomi. He saw two figures sprawled on the street, several meters from the van. Hitomi and Kanan. Hitomi, wake up! Achi cradled her in his arms, and her eyes drifted open faintly. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Hitomi didn't appear to understand him. Her only response was a blank, dazed look. There was a small patch of red on her face. Achi wiped it gently away with a finger. He saw no further signs of bleeding. She must have been splattered by someone else's blood then. As far as he could tell, she hadn't been gravely injured. Achi let out a sigh of relief. Hitomi, is she gonna be alright? Kanan stirred on the ground. Her clothes were scorched in places, and she was bleeding from her head. Kanan, did you save her? Is she alright? Yeah. What about her sister? Kanan didn't respond. No, it can't be. Achi went to look inside the van. Amidst the smoke and the flames, he could make out the outline of a body. What happened here? Achi had to look away. Get Hitomi out of here. Hurry. If those guys show back up. Kanan's face twisted up with pain. Alright. Achi settled Hitomi carefully in his arms. Wait, I need to tell you something. I'm not done dying yet. Kanan's pained gasp called him back. Alphard. Huh? Alphard? That's the name of the mastermind. Oh, that's her speaking. That's the name of the mastermind. I'm sure it'll come again if you keep pursuing this. But if you value your life, don't get involved with Alphard any further. Now go. Okay, and thanks. With Hitomi in his arms, Achi hurried from the scene. He wasn't sure where he was heading. He just wanted to get away, wherever that meant. He carried her past the crowd of onlookers that had swiftly begun to assemble. The flames of the burning van rose ever higher, roaring up towards the heaven. Well, shit. I had a feeling that van had to happen since it was in the intro. We just have to keep Minorikawa from dying to it. As for Hitomi, she's fine, but for now. So what do we know? We have a jump point for Minorikawa. We have a jump point for Maria. Someone is looking for Maria. Or for Miku. Minorikawa's still in his bad end. I mean, it's possible that changing this decision might change that, but the hint didn't give that. I think it just means he loses out on finding his laptop. I think we check on Maria because she's the last to have seen Miku. I thought we were at a keep out with her, but there's nothing there. Yeah, I thought because we checked on her first and we got jump scared. I usually only get jump scared from a... Yeah, but maybe the keep out has been changed because of events I've changed. When I arrive at the alley, though, there's nobody there. Paradoxically, I'm both relieved and severely disappointed. Then I happen to notice something lying on the ground. What is it? I pick it up. It's a notebook. Slipped into the back cover is a photo showing 2 boys and a girl. Did she comment on the photo last time? Being 2 boys and a girl? I thought she just picked it up. And then the camera zoomed in on it. Oh, what do I do now? Do I go to the police? Okay, we're having this conversation. Okay, so this is as far as I can get to her through her story. What am I supposed to do? I had my hang my head at a total loss. The necklace around my neck sways idly to and fro. Okay. I'm in the keep out. It didn't say keep out though. Something changed. But it didn't change that. Yeah, now I'm gonna keep out. Either it forgot or something I did somewhere else changed this slightly. But in a way that doesn't really matter. Can Achi jump to her now? That's probably... You're right, we can jump to her. Despite her being at a keep out. That's weird. You're right. Maria. Yeah, I wonder why I erased the keep out. Eventually, I muster up the energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular. The billboard outside of a department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular, because lots of passersby stop to take a good look. Am I just imagining things? I feel like I saw the same poster somewhere very recently. Standing underneath the sign is a woman talking on her cell phone. Is that her? That's her, right? That's Aya Kamiki? It sounds like she's having an argument with whoever's on the line. I don't want to be nosy, so I just pass on by. As I come out onto Koendori, I gradually come to a halt. I'm a little tired from all this aimless wandering around. I let my gaze stray along the street as I consider my next move. Then I catch sight of a blue minivan parked across the street. Oh. Suddenly my heart starts pounding. I know this. I know this minivan. If I head over to it, I'm sure I'll remember something. As if pulled by some huge magnet, I make my way towards the vehicle. Oh no! There's a sudden thunderous boom. I'm knocked flat by a blast of energy and the world goes all topsy-turvy. As I lie in shock, A wave of unfamiliar images fills my mind. A cloud of whirling dust in some place that isn't Japan. Alright, so she's remembering the Middle East a bit. A simple room with unfamiliar architecture. A girl. And I know the girl's name. Her name is... On the verge of that revelation, my consciousness fades away. A sudden blast. She blew up. Maria arrived on Koendori just in time to get caught in the minivan explosion. If she's going to avoid this fate, she needs to stay away from that vehicle. Someone else's actions can ensure that Hana Toyama crosses paths with her again. Then Maria will talk to her and avoid the minivan. Well... Oh, I have to hit that button. I know that Achi interactive Hana. If Achi didn't pick her up, her things wouldn't have gotten messed up, and she wouldn't have gone up the hill in Dogenzaka. She might have gone the other direction and maybe tried to sell the thing to Maria. Maria had already interacted with Hana before in the mall, so maybe they'll know each other, you know. So maybe I just gotta fix that with Achi. Wham. Alright, so we're gonna do the old Shenmue sidestep. Achi took a quick leap to one side. He managed to avoid crashing into her by taking a tumble himself, but the girl is still definitely a bit shocked. Hey Chris, Achi. There's been an explosion. The blue minivan that Hitomi believes her sister is in has exploded. We're currently scrambling. Sorry about that, Achi said. Are you alright? But the girl didn't answer or even meet Achi's eyes. She just looked around as if in a daze. Was she waiting on someone, maybe? Odd kid, Achi thought. I hope she's okay. Once more, Achi and Hitomi set off running. Okay, this looks the same. Okay, so that shouldn't have changed anything here. Yeah. We're trying to get Hana, who's that little girl, to probably meet with Maria. Which, Maria's bad end is now changed. So, looks like we did it. It's so crazy Osawa starts here. We can assume that this is where the explosion is, because Minorikawa died here. Also, Minorikawa died to the explosion as well. We have to stop that. Apparently that involves Miku. So Osawa's story starts when the explosion happens. Again, I think it's Mr. Tanaka in the van. We know it's not Maria, and we know it's, you know, and we know it's someone that sent a text message. When we know that Mr. Tanaka sent a text message to Maria, to not Maria, to Hitomi, right before the explosion. So it would line up with the events of the intro movie. I believe everything is a clue. Anyway, let's go back here. We are running out of time, so we do need to wrap up something. Because we are going to probably stop in about 10 minutes. Eventually, I muster up the energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular. The billboard outside of a department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular because lots of passerbys stop to take a good look. She's also just standing down there. I catch sight of Lil Hana in front of the billboard. She's showing something to a woman there. Some colorful sheets of paper. The woman looks a lot like the musician in the poster. That's what I said, but you didn't seem to care. Now all of a sudden you care. Hitomi. Or Maria, sorry. Moreover, I have the feeling I've seen her someplace before. Where could I have seen her? Man, heavy amnesia is really a pain in the ass. Sing it, sister. I have no way of knowing whether I've forgotten something or had no memory of it in the first place. The woman looks through the papers Hana held out to her, nodding approvingly at each one. I can hear her murmur with admiration. Hana. I wave as I scamper on over to her. As I do, the woman abruptly hurries off. Hey, we meet again, I say. Hana just gives me a bored look. Who was that just now? I ask. I don't know. Hana quickly gathers up her belongings and starts walking briskly away. I'm done with this conversation. Oh, hey, wait up, I call out. The girl ignores me. She's moving at a jog now, heading from Spanish Hill towards Koendori. No, don't go that direction. Again, she faceplants. Ah! As she steps out onto Koendori, she trips and falls down hard. The contents of her bag spill out onto the road. Oh, whoops! Catching up to her, I gather up some of the fallen pages. She's a clumsy girl. This is the second time she's faceplanted, by the way. It's just become a running gag, I think. What's this? There are poems written on the colored paper. Isn't that what Miku wanted to do? Was to become a poet? After she gave up fighting and then had this, like, existential crisis with Maria earlier on? Afterwards? Copies of a prose poem titled The False Monsoon. The poem delicately details the wavering emotions of an adolescent girl. Also, in a clever twist, if the text is read horizontally instead of vertically, it tells about a father's worries over his only daughter, who is now of marriageable age. Honda's genius will soon be discovered by Aya Kamiki, and she will soon go on to become a popular songwriter. Way to go, Hana! As long as you don't die from this virus. The tiger is out. A look of embarrassment crosses Hana's face as she snatches the pages out of my hands. Don't touch those. Those are for sale. For sale? I'm selling poems that I wrote. Oh wow, that's incredible. She looks surprised by the compliment. Incredible? My friends at school said they were dumb. That's not true. I only saw a little just now, but I thought it was a really good poem. You're just saying that. I've been out here in Shibuya for weeks trying to sell these, but the only person who's bought one was that lady just now. Hana lets out a mournful sigh. Well, what are you out here selling poems for anyway? I thought maybe it'd help pay back her debts. Huh? Okay, that's not something I'd expect to hear from a little child. My dad's in real deep, she continues. The topic makes me think of Mr. Yanagashita. Guess today's my day for meeting people mired in debt. And I'm only in elementary school, so I can't get a part-time job. Japan's Labor Standards Act prohibits the hiring of children under the age of 15. For certain jobs within the entertainment industry, however, employers can obtain permissions from the Labor Standards Inspection Office for younger children to work. Idol culture. I'm impressed. She's so brave. She's maybe a little hard to approach, but she is just a kid after all. She's so brave, I just want to give her a hug. Oh, Hannah. I hear a strange wailing call from behind me. Toyama jump scare. Startled, I turned around to see Mr. Toyama standing there, tears streaming from his eyes. Hannah, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were trying so hard to... Toyama rushes up to the girl. It's quite the emotional father-daughter reunion. Or at least, that's how it looks until Hana slaps her father across the face with her bundle of papers. Whoa, what was that for? Don't give me that. I'm sick of all this running around. She delivers several more well-placed smacks with her little craft project. Okay, Toyama says at last. I know you're upset, but I have to ask you for just one thing. Then we can see about getting through the day, yeah? You like this Maria face? Contemplating Toyama getting his ass beat by his daughter? Okay, but just one. I can't help but find this ordinary interaction kinda charming. You two get along really well, don't you? I say. Yep, nope. The two give simultaneous, contradictory replies. Then Hana solemnly starts to walk off, with Toyama tottering after her. It's such a weird little sight that I can't help but laugh. Well, later then. Oh my god, she gets FMV. Oh no, the van's there! Van jump scare. Oh. Further along Koendori, I come across a car on the roadside that's spectacularly aflame. A group of onlookers surrounds it, in a confused uproar. It seems almost unreal, like I'm looking at a set for a TV show or something. I stand there staring into the flames. Huh? What's that? I can see something. The raging heat makes the air shimmer. The scent of dry sand fills my nose. A gust of searing wind tugs at my hair. Where am I? Decaying roads? Decaying houses? A decaying city. And the people who live there. People who live. People who live. People who live. There's someone by my side. Someone is with me, watching all of this. It's a girl. The person with me is a girl, slightly younger than me. She says something to me. Anna is me. Cat's Cradle. That's my voice now. Cat's Cradle? Whose voice was that? What's going on? Who am I talking to? Yeah, Cat's Cradle. I'm showing someone how to do a cat's cradle with string. But who? Who am I showing how to do a cat's cradle? Kanan. I've unlocked memories. The word Kanan echoes in my head. Kanan. I uttered the name aloud. The images floating through my mind are beginning to break up and vanish. But I feel like, for a brief moment at least, I'd caught hold of the edges of some of my lost memories. That's right. Kanan. As soon as I say it, I'm filled with a powerful sense of duty. There's something I'm responsible for. Something that I needed to do. And if I don't, this Kanan person is going to be in grave danger. Well, she got caught in the blast. Calm down. Just calm down. I'm pleading with myself now, fighting the impulse to take off running. If I did, where would I go? I have no idea what my destination or my goal even is. Please, please remember something. Please, please. I gaze out at the flames, practically praying now. Don't move. A voice hisses in my ear, and I feel something hard press against my back. I don't need to turn around to recognize whose voice it is. I thought you said you didn't have any business with... I did a little thinking, says the man with the cane slowly. About how I might lure out Hitomi Osawa, see? I'm going to use you as bait. It's so weird when it has FMV, because I've just been looking at photos so long. Alright, this seems like a good place to stop. So, we escaped... Maria has escaped one kidnapping, forgotten her memories, did a little business with Mr. Yamagashita, and now has been kidnapped again. This time by the detective who's trying to kill her sister. She did not meet with Miku, though. That must fall on someone else's duty. My guess would be Kano. So that's who we'll pick up when we get there later. As Minorikawa is still dead. Kano's adventure started at 1510. The thing about Sawa is that his adventure starts at the explosion. Anyway. That's gonna do it tonight. What did you guys think? So tomorrow I have a date with some golf, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. That might happen earlier in the day. And if that happens earlier in the day, then we could probably do more 428 tomorrow night. I don't feel... Usually after I do a 428 stream, my throat is sore and my head is spinning, but, you know, we had to cut short today because I was late and because the internet had issues. So I think having another session will be fine tomorrow. I'll keep you... I will keep the Blue Sky and Discord... I will give notice to those places if I do plan to stream 428. This game is so hard to keep track of? I don't think so, but I'm the one playing it, so I know where I'm jumping to in the timeline and into the you know, who I'm jumping to. And Plombo's already played it, so he knows, kinda. So I could totally get why viewing it might not be... might be hard. I could try to, like... I usually try to say something about when I jump. Like, oh, I need to jump here because this is when blah, 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 and blah, 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 right? So I try not to do things without telling you guys, but yeah, I could totally see where the game could lose you. But it's also just been a grand adventure. Very solemn. Like, we had the funny thing with Minorikawa, and then he died. And then everything else has been very serious. Kurislachi, for since you missed it, Mr. Yamagashita, the man with the afro, stole Minorikawa's laptop and ran off with it in a hilarious chase sequence. They also fell off the overpass, but didn't get run over. And then they encountered each other at the secondhand shop, the knick-knack shop. That's okay. I'm sure, like, as a viewer, you're doing other things. You know, I get it. I'm gonna try my best. You think I'm trying my best? That's good. I'm glad. I want to thank the Huck for the raid earlier. That was lovely raid. I'm sure it's kind of hard to get, like, if you haven't seen this game, getting raided into the middle of this is just kind of chaotic. But if you're vibing, you know, I thank you for being here. Next week, it's gonna look a lot like this week because we gotta finish some things. So Tuesday, we need to finish Urban Runner. Wednesday, we have to finish Bomberman 64's second attack. As for Friday, that's up in the air. I can either do the extra modes of Kero Blaster, or I can play Rosenkreuz Stilett, which is a Dojin-made game that is very inspired by Mega Man, and came out around, gosh, 2006, 2008? I don't remember. Probably 06. And fits right neatly into my, you know, 2000s to 2010s indie Dojin window that I've been looking into. So I kind of want to play that and give Kero Blaster a little break. But I know a lot of people liked what I did with Kero Blaster, so we'll see. And then, yeah, I assume we'll be doing more 428. I can't see us finishing next, you know, next stream, so expect more 428. In fact, the action is just pumped up. We have explosions. We have what we believe the virus spreading. And we have Kanan. She's injured. What will happen? All these questions will be answered. No, they won't. I don't think all of them will, but some of them might. Come back next time. Come back tomorrow for more 428 Shibuya Scramble. I'm gonna look for a raid target. I'm gonna hit the button to say don't raid me. I always forget to do that when I switch the scene. I should like make it automatic, but sometimes I switch to the scene before I'm done streaming, so maybe not. What can we do? A Salty Rat is playing Turok 3. Yeah, thank you all for being here. SQ Pat's playing Farland Odyssey. Uncle Jimmy is watching Evo, like I assume previous things. Asha the Game Genie is playing Gunstar Heroes Expert Mode. But she's like 5 hours in. Digital Basics playing Minish Cap. He's about 4 hours in. Everyone's so wrapped up. We could go to Devil May Cry 5. Western Style Guy is only 2 hours in. Macaw is wrapping up. He's at his, like, done screen. Yeah, let's go raid Western Style Guy. You'd think the autofill for Western Style Guy would come up a lot earlier. How many Western guys can there be? Oh, he's on the BRB screen, but that'll be okay. I'm gonna send you over there anyway. Saribot says to have a great rest of your day and don't forget to stay hydrated and take care of good. I don't like the bot saying things, but it's be kind of garon on me. It's kind of endearing now. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Anyway, good night. Thank you for enjoying my 428 and putting up with my internet troubles. Peace out. Love to all.